What? Also, I wanted to start out, since we're talking, apparently we all have some somewhat politically oriented topics tonight. I saw this story over at Reason.com about this CPAC thing. This is the Conservative Political Action Committee or something, or conference, or I don't know what it stands for.
I think it's committee.
It's a big conference that they have, like a big hotel conference in D.C. And according to Reason.com's Billy Binion, some of these conservatives want to have the government give them more control over social media. They're mad because they've been booted off some of these platforms that are out there. And they, rather than compete in the marketplace and like start their own platform or whatever, and to be fair, some of them have.
Right.
But others want to demand equal access to things like YouTube.
Okay, if we get into it, but where does that end?
YouTube is not private, though.
It's been deemed to be.
What do you mean?
I don't. PragerU is not the end all of what is and is not private.
Well, but they lost their case.
I have that story as well.
Oh, the PragerU case. Well, okay, they're
against
wrong.
YouTube. Okay, well.
Whoa, okay, hold on. So you're saying YouTube is not private? What do you mean? Because they have a government? YouTube has like a government contract?
They're a subsidiary of Google, which is more or less a subsidiary
of the CIA.
Yeah.
Well, now, I mean, that's a pretty big claim. What are you saying, that Google's revenues are significantly, like a big chunk of them are from the government?
They were bankrolled by the CIA in a large part.
She's made this case before.
What? I don't know if I've heard the case before. Like, how large of a part are we talking about?
I don't know, like, dollar percentages, and I don't really care. You can, it's on, you can see this on In-Q-Tel.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I don't know what that is.
It's more or less an organization or a government department, however you want to look at it, that bankrolls things that the government isn't allowed to bankroll, but the government 100% funds and controls it. It says, oh, this is our corporation that bankrolls things that we like.
Okay, so...
That's a really high-end summary, but...
Yeah, a lot of companies take government contracts.
That's not at all the same. If you're selling...
So you're talking about their investors in Google?
We can debate whether or not the word investor fits, but close enough.
Funding in some form or fashion from the CIA to Google for operations makes them a government entity. Therefore, any subsidiary of Google, in this case YouTube, is a part of that government entity and therefore is not a private entity, but rather public because of where the funding source comes from.
Even if YouTube is spun off on its own corporation that's related to Google?
Corporation is a piece of paper.
Right.
Like YouTube is a product of Google. It's not its own entity.
Why draw the line at being an investor versus having big contracts? Because Amazon has humongous contracts with the CIA and with FBI and with the military.
Because if you in general sell radios and the FBI is like, I'm placing an order for 100 radios, it's a lot harder to fight that, especially if you don't have customers in person and they just go to Amazon and like, I click, okay, 100, add to cart. What are you supposed to do? Versus if the CIA walks up to you and says, hey, you want to develop Google Earth? Because I'd really like that to exist. Those are not the same.
I don't know if I agree with you. I mean, either way, you're trading something in return for money. You've got a contract with these people.
Well, they're also not trading. Well, that's also not true, because if you sell radios on Amazon, then you're trading radios for money. If the CIA is just like, hey, why don't you develop a product? Here's a grant.
That's kind of similar. They're saying, we want this thing. Here's some money so you can do this thing. Versus, we want to buy these things. Here's some money so you can send us the things that we want to buy. I mean, I don't really see any significant
once you sell 100
there.
radios, you don't have them. Now you have 100 less radios.
Yeah, and you've got more money in the bank account that came from the government. So why give them a pass? I mean, if you're, I'm not saying that
I'm not even necessarily saying give them a pass. And if 98% of your business comes from the feds, maybe you have a problem.
Is it 98% though? I mean, aren't they a publicly traded company, Google? Can't you buy stocks in Google?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have not seen the numbers, and I suspect that if it's money coming from the CIA, you don't get the numbers on that sort of thing anyway. So it's probably a lot of speculation as far as how much money is coming in.
Okay, but if the CIA is directing, okay, Google, develop this program. Okay, Google, develop that program. okay, Google developed this program.
You're setting off
being
people's phones all over the place right now.
Okay, well,
sorry. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not defending what Google's doing here. So you're saying that because the
if you
CIA
are directed
gives,
and funded by the CIA, you are not a private entity. That is my position.
Okay.
I think it's a completely...
So therefore, YouTube should allow anyone to post within legal framework, whatever's legal to YouTube?
Yeah, if the government is going to run a video sharing site, then they can't use content discrimination.
Is the government the one running YouTube?
Yes, because Google is the government.
Well, you said they were giving them
Or
money
part
for
of the
Google
government.
Earth. So that goes to one department of Google.
That's
It
not
doesn't
how
go to the whole
money
Google.
Money's
works.
fungible.
Sure. That's true.
If the CIA is funding and directing Google's operations, that makes Google not private. And since Google
Can
only
you prove
owns YouTube,
that the CIA is funding and directing
Yes.
Google's operations?
I can't prove it verbally, but I can
Okay.
send you this
Sure, look it up.
website.
I want to take a different approach to the whole deplatforming thing, because my question is always, where does it end, right? Like they're not allowed on social media, right? The conservatives, whatever that their claim is, so they get booted off, and then they say, okay, well, create your own social media platform, and then they do, right? And then they get booted off either from the domain host or the server company, right? And they say, well,
You talking about Gab?
Could be Gab. I'm just saying in general, right? Like there's always another private organization down the line holding the keys to the kingdom for these entities that are, could be despicable or otherwise just unpopular.
I would also argue that places like Twitter are guilty of fraud. Because if you want to say, this is my far left platform, I allow far left speech on my far left platform, go ahead. But if you say, this is my free speech platform, or this is my platform where you can post anything that's not, violent, graphic, or stuff along those lines.
Which kind of used to be Twitter at
and
one
that's
point.
not the case. You're committing fraud about what your product is, and that's a problem.
Is Twitter CIA funded?
Not that I know of. As far as I know, Twitter is private, so I treat it like it is.
Okay, so in that case, you wouldn't support the government mandating that Twitter allow everyone to post there?
No.
But you do support the mandate of YouTube allowing everyone to post there?
Yes.
Interesting. All right, so toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Well, I think that, it's a pretty... And I understand your argument. I don't know, again, what the statistics are as far as what kind of funding goes to them. But presuming that a significant amount of funding does go to them, I think you have a strong argument in that case, but I would still say that these conservatives better be careful what they wish for.
Oh yeah, that's true. I
because-
mean, it might be a better strategy for you to go to Gab instead of whining to Congress.
Yeah, because if
however
you
you
want to
want it.
create and we haven't even gotten into what they're saying here yet, but if you want to create a government power to control social media, then you're going to be letting them into an area of control that they've never had before. And that is not going to go well for freedom of speech in the future. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. You can take control of the airwaves here. This is Free Talk Live. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. Don't miss this year's LibertyCon with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO John Mackey, Congressman Justin Amash, and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith. Attend 2 spectacular debates. Is government necessary, and does capitalism require government intervention? Network with over 70 pro-liberty organizations. This and a whole lot more. April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. Visit libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on libertycon.com.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
There are basically 2 types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and it's the live Sunday edition here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms open and available to you at discord.lrn.fm. So hop into one of those. You'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us tonight. It's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Melanie.
All right, so we've been talking about this supposed, I guess, some conservatives are now taking to the stage at this Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC. This is a massive conference that they have on a yearly basis in D.C. for people on the right. And they're mad, apparently, about being deplatformed. And I can understand. It's a frustrating thing to have somebody pull a carpet out from underneath you. You know, you thought you were fine with your hosting plan or your social media presence, and then all of a sudden somebody who's in an administrative role at that organization decides you don't have a platform anymore, and it's gone. And that's that's frustrating because you might have had an audience built up, and you feel like you should be able to reach those people, but it wasn't your platform, so you don't get to decide those things. Well, now apparently some people at this CPAC are saying they want the government to get involved, and I think that's a huge problem. We'll get into that coming up here. Are you 100% sure you're going to have a great retirement, or do you have some doubts? Tom Young is the author and founder of the CFO Project. He can show you how to be debt-free in 9 years or less, including your mortgage, without spending a single dollar more. With the current state of the federal debt at $23 trillion and the unfunded liabilities at $127 trillion, you can't wait to take control of your money. So don't let your retirement savings be used to bail out the government. Instead of building a plan, Tom can show you how to create strategies now to save money without penalties and as little government involvement as possible. His new book, The Family Money Farm, The CFO Project, will show you exactly how to build wealth and eliminate debt at the same time. You can get your free copy at cfo-project.com. Invest in yourself and your family today. Get your free copy of The Family Money Farm, The CFO Project at cfo-project.com. We go to the phones to Penguin calling us from Virginia, listening online. Go ahead, Penguin.
Yeah, listening on the listen line, and it's not terrible. I mean, it's better options. But I wanted to call. I just tuned in, and first I want to say that I'm with Melanie, and I think Rich is in this camp on the idea that Google and Amazon getting so much funding and having so much contracts with government entities like CIA and stuff and such, that definitely makes them sort of in many ways an arm of the state.
I'm not in that camp, by the way. I just understand the argument.
And I can't say either way on Amazon. I don't have that kind of info on Amazon.
Oh, I've heard quite a bit. You might check with the Discord. There might be somebody talking about it right now, depending on the topic. Because I've heard that quite a few times from a guy I know.
Amazon has mega money contracts with various different federal agencies for hosting services on their
AWS platform.
Yeah, EC2
hosting
or whatever.
AWS. Yeah, it's all that. It's not the retail. It's the AWS.
Oh, okay,
that's where they make their profits. That's where they make their profits. Yeah, well, that's where they make their profits. They didn't turn a profit off of their retail stuff.
Really?
And I like to argue. Yes, well, they didn't until they started doing the AWS with the CIA and government entities, from what I've been told.
Okay.
But I want to. It's just been a lot of investment. Like all these tech companies, but they get their massive.
If they're not profiting off of their retail arm, why do it?
Well, same reason with Uber and Lyft. It's all R&D and trying to. I don't know. I don't know how these big tech companies work, but it's the same with a lot of them.
Amazon wasn't profitable for like a decade
it.
to begin with.
Like
it was all, like you said, seed money, investment money, venture capital
Wow.
to launch what they wanted to be like the end vision. And in Amazon's case, I think the quote is something like, "We want a percentage of every retail that transaction that happens in the world."
Yeah, it's crazy. And I like the argument anyway. They are kind of an arm of the state for such reasons, more so than most entities, which I'm a big, believer in big business and state granted monopolies. But especially for these organizations, it's very Rothbardian. Like he's made some really good arguments like that. But I mean, at the same time, you've got a lot of people that use a lot of these social media platforms, and we got to say something. Are we saying that these people that are banned are they're just banned for having conservative or right of center views? Because that's really not what I see. What I see, is that there's a certain amount of content moderation. I guess people want to have their kids and stuff, be comfortable with their kids and such using the things.
Well, that's a parent job. If Facebook, YouTube, whoever says, any private entity at least says, this is a G-rated platform, then that's what it should be. If they say this is an R-rated platform, well, then that's what it gets to be. And if you don't want your kids on it, then don't have them on it.
YouTube has YouTube Kids.
But there's plenty of fringe and controversial and really, really fringe and controversial content on YouTube. I think it really kind of, from what I understand, takes a lot to get quote-unquote censored from some of these sites. Are these really conservatives? Or are these, Nazis, to be honest with you?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the conservative movement, so I don't have a laundry list of all the different people that have been deplatformed.
Well, let's
stick
with PragerU then. Because you have the article for PragerU, right?
Yeah,
PragerU
I know who Dennis Prager is. He's a talk show host.
Right, but he's a conservative talk show host. I don't think he's ever identified as a Nazi.
Yeah, I've seen some of their stuff, and they're not anything beyond just conservatives.
Okay, so even more so then. So you have this conservative Jewish talk show host, right, who has his own website, his own video content, who was deplatformed by YouTube, sued YouTube because he shouldn't have been able to, they shouldn't have been able to deplatform, and he lost that case because YouTube is a private entity and gets to allow which content appears on their site.
So you're going to advocate that there is some kind of right to speak on YouTube. Does anybody have a right?
I don't think he's advocating that.
No, I'm not. I'm not advocating that.
Prager, you advocated that, and I will advocate that in the case of YouTube because YouTube is not private. I will not advocate that for a private website.
But you're making the claim that it's not just conservatives, or it's not conservatives that are getting deplatformed. It's ultra conservatives or Nazis, as you said. And I don't think Prager falls into that camp, and he's the most highest profile case right now.
I don't consider fascists and Nazis to be ultra conservatives. They're a lot more than just ultra conservatives, but or even they're not even really ultra conservatives. But my question is, do you know what the Prager you got deplatformed for? I may have missed that.
I do not have the details in front of me.
I mean, because they have pretty, from what I understand, they have pretty clear-cut rules. Because a lot of stuff seems to go. I mean, I know people who look at a lot of pretty content. I mean, is it Molyneux still on YouTube? And he said some pretty controversial things.
Molyneux is on YouTube.
Made a whole career off it.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of these people that are pretty controversial, Paul Joseph Watson and all these people that say pretty harsh things about, immigrants and other cultures than their own and groups and such. If there's ground rules, and I guess you supposedly agree with that when you put your content up there.
According to the story at the BBC,
and they don't have a monopoly.
I don't know a whole lot of what happened with this PragerU thing. This is the first I've heard of it, honestly. It says here that YouTube had removed advertising from dozens of videos that present right-wing views, setting some of them to, quote, restricted mode, unquote, for adult viewing only. So are they actually even arguing that the channel itself was taken down? Did that happen, or did PragerU decide that because they couldn't make money off the ad revenue anymore, that was enough for them and they left the platform? How did it go down? It's Free Talk Live. More coming up.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
The American robin heralds the beginning of spring in temperate climates across North America. Its red breast makes it easily identifiable as the most disturbingly efficient murderer in the animal kingdom. Robins inculcate their young with these twisted maws. We see an adult robin feeding its young with the ripped-apart viscerae of an innocent worm. Like the Greek hero Atreus eating the flesh of his children at his own table, this black deed must surely curse the entire species. Even the most depraved acts of humanity pale in comparison to the robin's wickedness. Like idiot rapists, they commit their foul deeds with neither foresight nor hindsight. They live entirely in the present. Living beyond space and time, their god is the awful seething maelstrom of chaos at the center of the unfeeling universe.
This is the Onion News Network.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live listen line, 641-793-0191.
Fact. The new NSA data center in Utah requires 1.7 million gallons of water every single day to operate. Billions of Fourth Amendment violations need massive computers and the water to cool them. That water is being supplied by the state of Utah. Fact. There's absolutely nothing in the Constitution which requires your state to help the feds violate your rights. Our message to Utah: turn it off. No water equals no NSA data center. Visit offnow.org.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. You bring up what you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. So, looking a little deeper into this PragerU thing, again, I didn't know anything about this until tonight, until I saw this story over at Reason.com, where apparently there was a lawsuit. I'm sorry, the Reason story we haven't gotten into. Reason story is about CPAC and conservatives whining that they're being deplatformed. But apparently, Dennis Prager, who's a talk show host, did more than just whine. He filed a lawsuit against YouTube because they supposedly censored him, but I don't see any evidence of that happening here. They appear to have a healthy YouTube channel with 2.42 million subscribers.
So it could be the term shadow banning then, right?
Videos have been uploaded, multiple videos over the last week. It looks like they're doing about one video every day. So there's regular content being uploaded. The last one was within the last 10 hours. So they haven't stopped using YouTube as a platform while they're suing YouTube, claiming that they've been deplatformed. According to the BBC, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in favor of YouTube, saying that the Constitution's First Amendment does not apply to YouTube as they are a private company. Now, Melanie, you're disputing that. You're saying that YouTube is not a private company because they get a lot of money from government.
Well, it's not just because they get a lot of money from government, because they were bankrolled by the CIA and directed on what to do by the CIA.
Those are interesting allegations. I don't know if it's true when it comes to YouTube because Google didn't start YouTube.
They did buy it, though.
They did buy it. That much is true. Edge Wallet, by the way, is a way for you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Ethereum, Bitcoin SV, the original Bitcoin BTC. They've got various Ethereum tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, Ravencoin, and others over at Edge. You can secure your freedom. It's a veteran team building wallets since 2014. They do great work at Edge. Go to edge.app to get more information about Edge, or just go to the iOS or Android App Store and download Edge Wallet tonight and get started. It's super easy. It's a great wallet for new users or experienced users alike. I'm very experienced when it comes to crypto, and I use Edge Wallet almost every day to spend crypto. Edge.app. So we continue here. Penguin is still on the line with us here in Virginia. But again, according to the story here, and the BBC is reporting on this, YouTube simply removed advertising from PragerU's videos. I don't even know if they are saying that they actually had videos deleted. At least it's not said in this particular story. They're complaining because they were blocked for advertising dollars. And according to this, they also set some of the videos to restricted mode, meaning that you have to click that you're an adult in order to watch the video. Now, I don't know what videos they did that to. Are they doing it simply because they're conservatives? I don't know, and ultimately, I don't care. I come from the perspective that it is not a government platform, that it's a private company. It sounds like they're getting some government money, but we don't know how much. So there are some question marks there. But ultimately, it sounds like a bunch of whining to me. You got revenue coming in from YouTube, and then they stop your revenue, and that sucks. And it's not just PragerU that it happens to. It's happened to a lot of people. I've got this one of these video game review channels, or kind of like a Let's Play channel. It's called MXR Plays. And it's this little Asian guy in California with his hot Asian girlfriend, and they play video games and comment on things. And he did like a bunch of Fallout 4 and Fallout Skyrim. These are popular video games. They do mod reviews. So they review tons of these different mods, and some of them are a little racy, like topless women or whatever. So they put the blurs over the sexy parts. But for YouTube, that's not enough. And you can't have like curse words apparently now, otherwise you get considered to be an adult content. So like there's certain triggers that the YouTube algorithm robot looks for. If it catches too many curse words, or if it catches too much skin, being shown or whatever, like they have ways where it's not a human being necessarily that goes through these videos.
Somebody did a really funny thing where they posted like a picture of a video of just like a hand.
Just because
it got removed,
so much skin?
It got removed for nudity because it was...
It
over whatever percentage skin, yeah.
Right. So, and so these guys got deplatformed, not totally deplatformed, but they got demonetized.
Right.
So it was one of the primary ways they were making money. Was for some number of years they were doing very well because their videos regularly get hundreds of thousands of views, and so they would get paid pretty well on this. And then all of a sudden, now their videos are mature content only, and they don't get the same amount of advertising dollars. They might get some, but it's not what it was. And so they had to like start a Patreon and start looking for other ways to bring revenue.
Which
in.
there are ample,
Yeah.
right? It's not like YouTube is a monopoly and the only place you can post videos.
No, but it is sort of this, who moved my cheese kind of thing of, well, hey, things were the way they were for as long as they were, and I like the way they were. Well, now they've changed. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
And that's what happened to PragerU. So they sued. They filed suit in court, and now it sounds like they want to appeal because this was just the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, so they could still go up to the Supreme Court from here. And I wonder, again, I'm not that familiar with the case, and I'm not saying, and Penguin, you're still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you familiar with what PragerU's argument was? Did they use Melanie's argument in court saying, well, YouTube gets a bunch of money from the government, so therefore they're no longer a private company. They've essentially become converted into a government arm. Did they use that argument? Do you know?
I have no idea, and I'm not on a PC or anything, but I'd wonder that too. I don't know if you have time to look it up.
Neither that nor my argument would be legal. It wouldn't
argument, fly in court?
No.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Like, what's the reason? I mean, if you can successfully say, hey, these guys are majority funded by the government, they're effectively a government arm, that's not, well, like, why would that argument
the purpose of having, like, your own shadow corporations is not so you can go back into your own court and admit that they're shadow corporations.
Yeah, we might agree, but, like, that's not necessarily what they're going to decree. You have to, the rules you have to go by. If they have the, I hate to say it, like Rothbard said, I've just read Anatomy of the State. Like, the state is the arbiter of the limits of its own power. Pretty much, it has to be to fully function as a state. So yeah, it was definitely what Melanie said.
One of the arguments that could come up with the YouTube case is the same one that was brought forth with Facebook, and that is, are they a platform or are they a publisher? If they're curating content and editing out things from the platform, right, that makes them a publisher, and they can do that, right? Because
of the U.S. code.
Okay. If they're just a platform and anything goes, right, then they're no longer responsible for the stuff that goes up on the platform, and therefore shouldn't be able to censor it.
Well, I think they should be able to censor anything if it's their private platform or if they're a publisher. It's my platform, damn it. I'll tell you whether or not I'm going to let you on it. LRN, it's a platform. Liberty Radio Network, it's a place where libertarians get to have their shows heard by people. But if you go off the rails, I'm taking you off.
Well, that also makes it a publishing platform for you. You are the publisher of the content.
So what's the difference?
The censorship aspect of it. Like that's the case that was made with Facebook. It was whether or not they have the right as a publisher to censor content, or if they're just an open platform to host the content.
But they're neither. Well, I mean, maybe they're both, but they're not open because they're private. So if it's a platform, it's still a private platform. I've never understood this argument.
So that's illegal. I mean, I don't think you're making a moral argument.
No, not at all.
To me, it would not be. The legal arguments of they have to pick what they want to be and go with one. So they can be a publisher who can take off and put on anything they want, but then they're liable for the content that's there. Or they can be a platform and allow not literally everything. They can have like rules of conduct, but they can't have content restrictions just as if they were.
Why not?
But they're not liable for the
But
content.
then they're not liable for the content that's on
like
there.
if you put something illegal up on Facebook as a platform, you, the content uploader, are liable. Facebook is not. If they take the stance that they're a publisher who can censor the content that goes up, then they become legally liable for all the content that gets published on their platform.
Okay, but why can't I have a platform where I say what can get published on the platform?
Because you don't have enough tanks to do that.
Well,
Enough
you do.
tanks.
You do. But as far as Liberty Radio Network is concerned, if you're the publisher, right, and you create the content, legally you're liable for anything that gets published on LRN.FM.
Thank you for the call tonight, Penguin. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. But I don't know what content is published on LRN. So
then you just better stick
good
to the
luck getting blood out of the stone. More coming up.
Are you afraid to go to the mailbox because of letter after letter from the IRS? Are they stacking on more and more penalties and interest? By now, you know the problem won't go away on its own. Don't let the IRS chase you to your grave with penalties and interest and liens and levies. You need real help now. I'm Dan Pilla. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I help thousands of people solve tax problems they thought couldn't be solved. I can help you too. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com. danpilla.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business. So make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Now, there is Reveal. Beverly Hills celebrity dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman took nearly a decade to develop Reveal from natural botanicals to return to a full-body head of hair. Reveal for men and women with a 30-day money-back guarantee at gcnlife.com or toll free 844-443-6637. 844-443-6637. Reveal at gcnlife.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You bring up whatever you want here. The number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. And you can join us online at freetalklive.com. Lots of great features there. If you want to support what we do, you can do that, like Liberate Opus, who is a Free Talk Live AMP Silver, meaning that Liberate Opus gives $5 a month to the AMP program, or maybe it's Opus.
Opus?
O-P-E-S. Opus.
Ops.
Ops.
Liberty Opus?
Liberty Opus. That sounds good. Liberty Opus, or Liberate Opus. He gives, or she gives $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com. You can do the same thing and help us get on more radio stations. Oh, that reminds me, we've actually got a couple new stations to announce here tonight. We've actually had a couple, almost all the stations that have come on in the month of February have joined our Sunday show.
Nice.
So you guys must be doing something right.
Is that 211 or 212 now then?
209.
209. Oh, I thought it was like 209 the other day.
Which is a record high.
Okay.
So, actually, you know what? I don't know if I finished adding the stations. I think I did. It's been a busy weekend.
Congratulations.
But thank you to News Talk 1010 WCSI and 98.1 FM. They're located in Columbus, Indiana. And they have been joined us for the last couple of weeks. So this isn't their first weekend, but it's the first one where I get to say hello on the air to our news stations there in the Columbus, Indiana area. Again, WCSI 1010 and their FM translator at 98.1. And yes, I did add them to the website. So yeah, 209. That's our current number. Because, you know, sometimes we lose a couple, Richie. Sometimes stations go off the air or they change formats. And although we haven't actually lost a couple I think the last time we lost one was in November.
Okay. Well, so, I typically listen to a handful of the podcasts throughout the week, and I thought I heard you announce 209 like a night or two ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd add they've been on. It's just tonight I'm welcoming them, so that would explain it. Yeah, because I don't want
two more. I'm like 2 more. Sweet.
Yeah, I don't want to say welcome if they're not listening, right? Because they're only on Sundays. So welcome aboard. And if you want to try the show out, we are live there in Columbus. So we're open phones. You can call in. You can bring up absolutely whatever's on your mind. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. And again, thanks to Liberate Opus and the other Free Talk Live amplifiers who have made it possible for us to be on as many stations as we are. And you can join the AMP program over at amp.freetalklive.com. You get some bonuses like access to the AMP-only Facebook group. There's also AMP and supporters discussion rooms on our Discord forums, or rather Discord chat rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. But please, get signed up. You can use credit card. You can use PayPal. You can use Bitcoin, BTC, at amp.freetalklive.com. So we are just generally talking about this whole deplatforming claim. PragerU, which is a YouTube channel for Dennis Prager's university or whatever it is, some sort of conservative think tank or whatever educational platform. They were targeted by YouTube apparently, but not actually taken down. The channel's up. The channel's still going. They're still posting videos to it. So obviously they still value whatever level of platform YouTube has decided to give them, or publisher or whatever. I'm still not sure what the difference is.
As far as market share, it's probably still best to be on YouTube even if you're also publishing elsewhere.
And I don't know if they're publishing elsewhere. I haven't looked into that. I presume that they got smart and tried to, expand to other platforms once they realized that they were in some jeopardy.
Especially if you're going to file a lawsuit against the current host.
Because they can afford it, right? They can file a lawsuit. They can afford to move to a different host. But they apparently had advertising removed from dozens of videos presenting right-wing views, some of them set to restricted mode for adult viewing only. The channel's part of a nonprofit founded by conservative radio host Dennis Prager, has about 2.5 million subscribers, and has attracted significant criticism for its videos, including ones on harnessing masculine aggression and the nature of Islam. This report, according to the BBC, PragerU argued that YouTube's size and power meant that the world's biggest video platform was effectively a public space, and it was censoring conservative viewpoints. But the court decided on a straightforward application of the First Amendment and dismissed the appeal.
Okay, I don't know if that's a fair summary of what they, and I know you don't either, of what they actually said, but if that's what they actually said, they're insane.
The court or the
PragerU.
Okay.
But I haven't read the filing, so I don't know if that's what they in fact said.
Well, and we'll get into what these conservatives, they're crying about, saying they want government to take over social media, which I think is a incredibly scary idea. We can talk about that further.
That comes from the other side too, right? Because again, we go back to Facebook because they're the biggest social media platform right now, right? Looking for government to regulate them so that they have, state rules to abide by when it relates to these types of situations, right? Tell us regulate us so we know what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do.
They were asking for that, weren't they?
And that also, if depending if they get to write the rules, would help to stifle competition from cropping up because they'd be, beholden to the same rules, and Facebook can fund, the operations, whereas startups like, you mentioned Gab earlier, may not be able to.
The court ruled, said, quote, despite YouTube's ubiquity and its role as a public-facing platform, it remains a private forum, not a public forum. So I tend to agree with this. I don't know, you guys were talking about this platform versus publisher thing, and here you've got the court using the word platform and acknowledging that you can have a private platform where you get to set rules as far as who gets to go on it.
You can, but then you're liable for what gets said. Like, you would be a platform, that's fine.
But why couldn't you just disclaim liability?
Well, okay.
Because that's not how the law is written. So I'm not agreeing with the law. I'm just telling you what it is.
The platform aspect, as we were discussing during the break, Melanie, was whether or not it's equally applied with liberal channels versus conservative channels. And as a platform, right, if they're demonetizing and censoring content from conservative channels that they aren't otherwise censoring on liberal or lefty channels, right, then there would be some sort of case potentially to be made that they're not given equal access on
Well,
the
they tried to
platform.
make that case and they failed.
Okay.
So here you've got a court ruling that they're a platform and they can still make decisions for themselves.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if that makes them liable for the content all of a sudden, but they're still letting the content go, so maybe they're not that worried. I don't know. It's all very confusing to me. I just don't understand how you can be held liable for something that you don't even know what's there. Isn't there an exemption in the Communications Decency Act?
Yeah, you can be a platform and then you don't censor based on content. And then you're not liable.
Otherwise, you're the publisher, and then you are liable. So
Yeah.
the platforms, or the companies, YouTube, Facebook,
But then why,
whatever,
if that were true, why didn't the court rule in favor of Prager University?
Because Prager University is not suing YouTube or was not suing YouTube for a defamation or a libel lawsuit. They were selling them for equal access. You don't get to demand the equal access. If they don't give equal access, then they are liable. PragerU wouldn't have standing if for that claim because YouTube presumably didn't defame or libel PragerU, as far as I know, and they weren't claiming it. So
you're saying YouTube is now liable for PragerU's content because they're a platform or a publisher?
I don't know that whether or not they were using content restriction was even an issue in this case. It doesn't sound, based on what you read, it doesn't sound like it even was. But they can do that, but then they're a publisher.
Mm-hmm.
And
but
then
the
therefore
court
liable
described
for
them
what
as
they
a
publish.
platform. The court used the word platform to describe them.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, normally what the court says matters a lot.
I would think
legal land.
It's possible that PragerU filed their lawsuit and just misapplied the legal proceedings, the proceedings, right? Like they did not file the correct lawsuit to get the end result that they wanted.
According to the story at the BBC, this is Jim Killock from the Open Rights Group saying the ruling was uncontroversial and followed established interpretations of free speech law. He said further, the case reflected the problem with content moderation with large companies such as Facebook and Google. Much of the dispute centers around content that is perfectly legal but upsetting to some groups. He highlighted a model of content moderation recently announced by Facebook, where an independent oversight board will have the power to overrule the company's decisions. It'll be led by British human rights expert Thomas Hughes, who said the board is committed to protecting free expression and human rights. He said, quote, the problem is they're so large, any restriction affects a large number of people. Setting the boundaries is a very complex topic. They do become de facto public spaces, and whatever decision they come to will be controversial, he says. So what are the conservatives saying about this? They have their CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference, which is their massive gathering, according to Reason.com. CPAC has the power to drive messaging within the Republican Party, and this year's meeting, replete with anti-tech sentiment, will be no different. A source familiar with the conference's planning process tells Reason that some conservatives during plenary sessions voiced their opposition to the big tech hostility, yet the organizers apparently ignored those concerns. Plenty of conservatives still hold tightly to free speech absolutism and limited government, but anyone watching CPAC could easily forget that. We'll find out what they had to say coming up here in moments about letting the government in to regulate companies like YouTube and Facebook and other social media. Coming up.
Our history classes start teaching the Constitution around 1776 or even later. The foundation of our Constitution goes deeper than that. Without examining the context that gave America its principles and its founding documents, we cannot understand the foundation of our liberty and our constitutional republic. Liberty First University teaches online classes in a way that all ages find compelling and understandable, from middle school to law school. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,586, silver at $16.68, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,669. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/freekratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, a peace deal between the United States and its once sworn enemy, the Taliban, has been signed in twin ceremonies. in which the U.S. has agreed to wind down the war in Afghanistan after more than 18 years of fighting that turned into the longest conflict in American history, and to withdraw all of its troops from Afghanistan. The Free Thought Project reports that in the historic signing ceremony with the top U.S. diplomat and the Taliban's second highest-ranking leader, the U.S. and the militant group agreed to begin to end America's longest war. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met a Taliban delegation during a historic moment, which they shared a stage in Qatar's capital, Doha. Pompeo, who called it a momentous day, gave a list of pointers to the Taliban to follow to ensure success. The deal, signed by U.S. Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad and Taliban political chief Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar, agrees to the complete withdrawal of U.S. and NATO troops within 14 months, contingent on the Taliban following through with its own side of the deal. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. A mother is taking her fight to the Minnesota State Capitol so that her son with epilepsy can use CBD oil in case he has a seizure. The Mind Unleashed reports the worried mother expressed that her son has tried 3 different epilepsy medications, resulting in life-threatening reactions. However, the 2 things that safely and reliably work for him are medical marijuana and CBD oil. CBD oil is derived from the hemp plant, and it is similar to compounds that our bodies produce naturally called endocannabinoids. Cannabinoids aren't only found in the cannabis plant, they're also naturally occurring in other plants, but are found at a higher potency in cannabis. CBD oil offers the healing power of marijuana without the psychoactive effect of the chemical compound THC. CBD has shown promise as a treatment for conditions like epilepsy and anxiety in early research. If your job is working at a restaurant flipping burgers, you may soon find yourself replaced by a robot that works for $3 an hour. The Mind Unleashed reports the new robot is named Flippy and was developed by Miso Robotics, costing less to employ than a minimum wage worker. Currently, Miso Robotics charges an upfront fee of between $20,000 to $30,000 to install Flippy into restaurants. According to Digital Trends, Flippy is a burger flipping robot arm that's equipped with both thermal and regular vision, which grills burgers to order while also advising human collaborators in the kitchen when they need to add cheese or prep buns for serving. When Miso Robotics set out to create their first units, off-the-shelf robotic arms sold for upwards of $100,000. Today they're going for about $10,000 and are only getting cheaper. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Tomorrow's my big day. I'm going to go in for surgery, and hopefully you'll come along. Now, I do have to admit that I am in a bit of pain, so I'm really looking forward to this procedure. I think we're both going to find out that having surgery just isn't as scary as it sounds.
We're covering our own Jim Haggerty's kidney stone removal surgery, and his surgery is now just minutes away. So, Dr. Atka, tell us what precautions we would take to prevent us from getting kidney stones.
Always stay hydrated. Water helps the kidneys break the stuff down.
Ah, hear that, Jim? More water.
What?
More water. Maybe we should replace your coffee.
Please go away. Please. Oh, no.
That's a camera they're going to use to film the whole surgery from inside Jim's
yes,
body,
that's going to
right?
be pushed into Jim's urethra as well. Now, normally they wouldn't do this. This is purely for the benefit of us watching it on TV.
All right, stick with us because first he's going to pop into the children's ward to cheer up some youngsters suffering from terminal illnesses.
This is the Onion News Network.
Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Plus, you can join us, again, toll-free number 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Melanie.
We've been debating various different internet publishing things, like specifically, should YouTube be considered a government agency because they ostensibly get a whole lot of money from the CIA. We're still waiting on those numbers from you, Melanie, as far as...
Well, that's not the claim I made, so I'm not going to defend it.
Oh, I thought you were saying that they got a whole bunch of money from the CIA, so therefore they're a government agency.
They were bankrolled by the CIA. The CIA created Google Earth, and they direct Google. So, yeah, they're a...
But you don't know to what extent.
How much of that funding goes
no,
to
I do not
YouTube
have
directly?
a anonymous CIA informant to tell me everything that InQtel is not going to tell me.
Right. So,
but they're going to tell you that much.
There's
so
money
that's
going,
enough for me.
There's money going from the CIA.
I don't care what their percentage of sales is from the CIA because that's not my standard.
So if it's 1%, then that makes them a government agency?
No, I just said that's not my standard.
It's not sales, it's funding.
Okay. I'm still confused.
If the CIA takes $1 million, creates Google, and runs it, then Google is a government agency.
Okay, but are you saying Google was created by the CIA, or that at some point the CIA came along and said, we want to fund this Earth thing?
I don't know for sure, but I don't. That doesn't matter.
If there's something you don't know, you're going to go ahead and rule in the favor that they're a government agency, even though you don't really know.
Whether they were there from day one or whether they were there 5 years later and did the same thing does not matter.
That's no different to you. Okay. But you don't know what the amount is either way.
I mean, you can look at InQtel and see what they say, but I don't know why you would trust them.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust anything the government says. So you're saying the only numbers you would have would be coming from the government agency themselves.
The CIA's books are not open.
Right.
No,
so
they're
one,
not.
you don't have the numbers.
But I don't care what the numbers are, so I don't know why we're fighting about this.
No, I'm just trying to understand. I'm not trying to fight with you here. I'm just asking questions about
if
your
the
understanding
CIA
of the situation.
runs Google, and they do, then Google is not private.
You're saying if.
And they do.
You believe they do, but you don't have any evidence for that.
The CIA
so
said
it's conspiracy theory.
The CIA. Okay, well,
she doesn't
if
have
CIA
the evidence
is
of a specific
lying
amount.
about running Google, I don't know what to tell you or Google.
You're saying the
but
CIA
Google's
has
not
claimed.
denying
Hold
it.
on. You're saying the CIA, which normally doesn't make public statements about its activities, you're saying the CIA has bragged that they run Google.
InQtel has.
InQtel, which is a puppet of the CIA,
yes,
right, is bragging that they run Google. I thought you said they just wanted Google to make Google Earth.
It's there. I posted the thing in the.
I'm sorry, I missed what you posted. What did you post?
I posted an article on how the CIA, in their words, how the CIA made Google, but that might be a slight exaggeration.
Okay, so CIA did not make Google, but they did give them some money at some point along the line, maybe continuing to give them money, but you don't know how much money, so therefore you couldn't say what level of influence they have over the operations of Google or its subsidiary YouTube.
No, I do not have the books for the CIA.
So, but just knowing what you know, which is to say not much, that therefore you would say that YouTube is a public agency.
I
and
do
should
not
be open to
care how
anyone
much
posting.
money the CIA buys stuff from Google with. If the CIA is running Google and the CIA is running Google, then yes, Google
but you don't really
is
know.
a federal agency. I mean, okay, yes, it's possible that Russia came in and was like, hey, InQtel, I'm going to kill everyone you know if you don't make this false in-depth story.
Isn't it possible
about
Russia
how
gave them
you
money?
Run.
You're getting really specific about how much first-hand knowledge she has about like an international
I'm just saying,
corporation.
she's come up to a conclusion about Google, which, as you point out, is international. So isn't it possible they're also getting money from the Russian government?
Or the Chinese?
Or the
Yes,
French
and if
government?
I have any evidence of that, then, I'll take it into consideration. But right now, it's just kind of a...
But your conclusion from all this is that they should be a public company, or that they're government operated, so therefore free speech should apply. That's your conclusion from
If the government wants to run a social media platform, then yes, I think the First Amendment should apply to it.
Even though you can't really be sure if they're running it.
I mean, from a
You're saying when
solipsistic
in doubt.
level, yes.
You're saying when in doubt, rule in the favor of government. It's a government platform now.
Okay, both the CIA and Google's not denying this. Google's like Google's not
Sure.
like, no, we have no affiliation with the CIA.
So should also you be able to advertise any product on Amazon as long as it's legal?
I don't know, because this was the first I heard of Amazon doing anything like that.
There's plenty of evidence about Amazon taking in, I don't know, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars.
Plenty
I
of
don't know.
evidence of a lot of things, but that doesn't mean I've seen it. And
Okay,
have
well, it's
time
not
to
hard to
look at
find
it.
that evidence.
It's also not hard to be a seller on Amazon either. So I don't know what their rules and restrictions
There are
are.
certain things that they won't let you sell, like you can't sell knockoffs,
You
for
can't
instance,
sell
legally.
guns. Well, that's illegal anyway. So you can't sell guns and you can't sell illegal things.
Guns,
I think
right.
that's the only rules.
Okay. They sell knockoffs all the time. That's big business for like overseas sellers on Amazon.
Well, if it's brought to Amazon's attention, they'll take it down.
Yeah, but it's so the volume is so high that Amazon cannot keep up with the cheap knockoffs that are on the site.
Well, good. I like to see more freedom when it comes to that. But we were also talking about this whole dispute between platform and what was the other thing? Publisher.
Publisher
That's
and
right.
platform.
And you guys are certain that there is a legal distinction between platform and publisher, and you say that a platform legally it has to allow everybody to post to it as long as it's legal, whatever the content is, and they can't restrict it. If they restrict it, then they become a publisher and they become legally responsible for the content there. So that's the summary, correct?
I'm going to fall on Melanie for the legal aspect because she's our legal expert on the
But she's
show.
not an expert on the Communications Decency Act, correct, Melanie?
Yes.
Yes, you are not an expert
correct.
on that. Section 230.
Please answer yes or no.
The electronic.
Is Tech Dirt though?
Tech Dirt actually cites, of course, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, which they are lawyers and they do a lot of work in this particular area. They're looking at specifically Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act because, what you guys were saying to me, and you said it before on this program, and it's always been like a shock to me, like, 'cause what? I thought that there were protections involved for people who provided a place for people to post things, whether you want to call it a platform or a website or a publisher or whatever word that you want to use, a place on the internet for people to post to, that the web operator does not have liability for that legally. Now, mind you, there are people who want to change it to where the web operators do have liability. And we've seen some scary stuff like the prosecution of Ross Ulbricht for that, Backpage.com, their prosecution. So they're trying to change this.
The publisher versus platform debate, and it's not the Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, but I do have a Medium article that gives some definitions on how we are using it in this context. But it became a debate when Facebook was like in front of Congress, and they were trying to determine whether or not Facebook was a publisher or a platform. And the use of the terminology was important in the Facebook case because Facebook was saying, in one sentence that nope, we're a platform, we cannot be held responsible for the things that get posted on our website. And then in an entirely separate conversation, like speaking from the other side of their mouth, they were saying, nope, we curate content on our website that makes us a publisher.
You can do both. And according to this story at techdirt.com and Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, that both are protected under the Communications Decency Act, Section 230. I'm going to jump ahead in this story because it talks about it's sort of a commentary on another guy's article, basically. But later they point out here that suggesting that there's some legal difference or significance to calling oneself a platform. It's something we've seen too many reporters, and by the way, this was published June of 2019, so fairly recent. They say we've seen too many reporters do this of late, spreading a false impression that internet platforms somehow get magic protections that internet publishers don't get. As we've explained, there's literally no distinction here. Usually people are making this argument with regards to the Communications Decency Act, Section 230's protections. But as we've discussed in great detail, that law makes no distinction between a platform and a publisher. Instead, it applies to all, quote, interactive computer services, unquote, including any publisher, as long as they host third-party content, meaning that Liberty Radio Network hosts podcasts, your show, for instance.
The Anarchist Experience.
Right, at anarchistexperience.com. I don't know what you talked about last night or yesterday when you did the show. I haven't heard it yet. but it's probably aired on LRN.FM. So let's talk about, whether or not I'm somehow liable for that, because I don't think so. And according to this, I'm not. It's Free Talk Live. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Don't miss this year's LibertyCon with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO John Mackey, Congressman Justin Amash, and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith. Attend 2 spectacular debates. Is government necessary, and does capitalism require government intervention? Network with over 70 pro-liberty organizations. This and a whole lot more. April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. Visit LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on LibertyCon.com. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge Wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want here, though we do disclaim liability from what you say.
As a platform, you could.
I don't know, man. I don't think there's any real difference, at least not according to the Communications Decency Act, where they don't even use the term platform, and they don't use the term publisher.
Wait, the Communications Decency Act.
Communications Decency Act, Section 230 says, quote, according to the EFF, no provider or user of an interactive computer service, that's the legal term they're talking about here, not platform or publisher, shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. Let me read it again. No provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. In other words, online intermediaries that host or republish speech are protected against a range of laws that might otherwise be used to hold them legally responsible for what others say or do. These protected intermediaries include not only internet service providers, but also a range of interactive computer service providers, including basically any online service that publishes third-party content, like YouTube or Facebook or any other publisher or platform.
Let me give this is from Medium, published 2018, so it precedes that. So that might be referring to one of these articles that seems that they're saying.
That's the Electronic Frontier Foundation in a section on the Communications Decency Act, Section 230.
And
These
they
are
were published,
attorneys.
They were published 2019.
Who wrote your Medium article?
Oh, I don't know.
Because Medium's a website that allows anybody to write. It's one of these publishers or platforms or whatever, allowing people to publish on their platform, because you can do both on the same thing or whatever.
Let me just read you the terms, because I think if I read the terms, it'll at least clarify the distinction that we're trying to make.
Yes, incorrectly. Go ahead.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But this is how other people are using it.
That's right.
Okay.
A lot of people.
Platform, a company or technology that enables communication and distribution of information. So the example that they give is the phone company. When talking to a friend, certain words or ideas you communicate don't get censored or buzzed out. A platform is not legally responsible for the content that is posted. Publisher, a company or person that curates and distributes content. You can think of all the news and media outlets out there as prime examples. A publisher is legally responsible for the posted content and the source.
Only if it's theirs. Okay? If you're CNN and your reporter posts a thing to your website that makes a libel claim or whatever, then yeah, CNN's responsible because it was their employee that did it. However, they are not responsible for Joe Schmo hammering away. And I don't think CNN has comments, but if CNN had a comment section, or like, one of these newspapers, they've got comment sections. If somebody goes in the comment section and says so-and-so is a child molester or whatever, well, that's not the responsibility of the person running the website. That is the responsibility of that user. They are disclaimed from liability. Even though they're a publisher, they still have a place where third parties can post
And
to
that would,
their...
and that would be them acting as a platform.
So you're admitting that you can be both. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Well, okay. So again, I'm just trying to distinguish the terms as we're using it.
Well, what I'm telling you is I see your distinction, but the Communications Decency Act doesn't make that distinction.
Okay.
As long as it's someone else who is not an employee of that particular company who's posting on that company's platform or publishing area or whatever you want to call it, they have protection from liability.
Okay.
So according to TechDirt, it applies to all interactive services, computer services, which includes any publisher, as long as they host third-party content. So that's the key that I think that you're missing here. And in this, in the case of Liberty Radio Network, it's all third-party content with the exception of Free Talk Live, right? That's me speaking, but I don't know what else. I don't know what you said yesterday on anarchistexperience.com. What did you say yesterday?
Yesterday we had Mark Edge of Free Talk
Live
on. Yep.
From the Marianas?
Yep, he got in. And I failed to convince him of the to not vote. Right, like he called in last week.
That conversation again.
We had that conversation. Well, because that's the conversation he wanted to have.
Oh, I see.
He wanted to hear the argument, that I made, and
he loves that argument.
I made the argument. He was not convinced. So yeah, you can check that out.
You can hear it for yourself.
Yeah.
At anarchistexperience.com. But again, that's third-party content because you don't work for LRN. LRN doesn't pay you. You don't get a paycheck for the things that you do. You just get a place to put your stuff where other people can hear it. And so according to, again, TechDirt here, as we've discussed in great detail, CDA 230, again, the Communications Decency Act, Section 230, does not make a distinction as long as, again, it's third-party content. So yes, sir?
Oh, I was going to say, I got one more source to try to make this distinction. This is from The Guardian, also 2018. So still precedes the rebuttal that you have. And this one is Facebook a publisher? In public, it says no, but in court, it says yes. So just the first couple of paragraphs. Facebook has had the same public response when questioned about its disruption of the news industry. It is a tech platform, not a publisher or a media company. So they have the platform. All the news media outlets are able to publish on their platform. In a small courtroom in California's Redwood City, attorneys for the social media company presented a different message from the one that executives had made to Congress in interviews and in speeches. Facebook, they repeatedly argued, is a publisher and a company that makes editorial decisions which are protected by the First Amendment.
Yes, of course it is.
Okay.
And it's a platform because you can be both.
Okay.
You can make decisions for your platform as well. You can say, this is a platform for conservatives, or this is a platform for liberals. And that still, even if that makes you a publisher, that doesn't mean you're still liable for the content that you put on that platform unless it's your content. If it's somebody else's content, you've got protections, at least as the current Communications Decency Act stands. Now, again, there are people who want to change this, and that would be a huge problem because then it would mean that you would become responsible for anyone's content that they post on your website. If you have comments on Anarchist Experience...
That sort of happened to Craigslist.
It's becoming a real problem.
Right.
Yeah, so they haven't changed the Communications Decency Act yet, but they're starting to kind of whittle it away through some of these, these prosecutions, basically. So the law hasn't changed yet, but they're prosecuting, say, Backpage.com for the kind of content that they have on that website, even though
it's third-party content, they're just a
protected.
platform.
Yeah.
But I forget.
Those are the rulings that are coming down, and they're being.
No, they're not, I don't know if they're rulings; they're prosecutions.
But there was a law.
They're prosecuting Chris Cantwell for threatening somebody on the internet, even though he didn't threaten anyone.
Well, yeah, he hasn't been convicted, and it definitely
That's
hasn't
right.
been appealed yet. So, but that Backpage was like years ago. I mean, is it not finished?
I'm not sure what's going on with that case.
If these are the cases that are coming down, and they're ruling against the people, and the people are appealing and losing, then that is the law.
Well, in the case of Craigslist, not Backpage, Craigslist decided to self-censor for fear that they would be prosecuted under the new law.
Under Sesta Fosta.
Right, that's the one, yeah.
According to Tech Dirt, nothing in calling oneself a platform set up any legal architecture, no matter how many ignorant people on Twitter claim it so. Unfortunately, someone who has already heard that false claim is likely to read various pieces as confirmation of that incorrect bits of info. So let's be clear once again and state there is no special legal distinction for platforms, and it makes no difference in the world if an internet company refers to itself as a platform or a publisher, or for that matter, an instigator, enabler, middleman, gatekeeper, forum, or anything. All that matters is, do they meet the legal definition of an interactive computer service, which, if they're online, the answer is generally yes. And whether there's a legal question about whether or not they're to be held liable for third-party content. There's more coming up here. You can share your thoughts. Free Talk Live.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up, and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh! My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dynovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
You can't win if you don't enter, and you actually can improve your chances of winning a prize drawing if you wrinkle up your entry blank. I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com, and I speak from experience. Why this works: if they'll be spinning the drum before drawing, your entry blank will move around more than, and not adhere to, other perfectly flat entry blanks. And if they don't spin the drum and merely reach into a box full of other perfectly flat entry blanks, many of which are sticking together, yours will feel different to the person reaching in. When you win, act surprised. And if you're looking for work, this is a metaphor. For more tips on sticking out in a world where just too much blends into the blah, 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 hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live.
So, yeah, Mark, they did ban all foreign flags from being flown in the event that they are the only flag being flown. But nonetheless, I mean,
it's the flying of a flag?
$50 fine and 30 hours of community service.
That's dumb. This doesn't really even affect
What do you think, this is the land of the free?
Most of the Mexican flags I see are CDs hanging from people's rear view mirrors, stickers.
I think we could qualify that.
That's not a flag.
It doesn't look like a flag. Got them colors on it.
No.
We're going to
It's a
charge you
CD.
$50 fine. $50. That's
and
right.
that CD, what if the CD has music on it?
Don't matter. It's a flag.
It's not a flag. It's a CD.
If you're flying it
Clearly,
like a flag,
sir,
it's a flag, my friend.
It's not a flag. It's hanging from fishing wire from my rear view mirror.
Hanging equals flag.
No, hanging does not
flag
equal
equals $50 fine. Pay up.
Well, I have
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, dial toll-free here. Bring up what you want. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. It's like an on-air publishing platform where you can call in and talk about anything that you want here, but only you are responsible for the things that you say. We just have to protect our radio affiliates, so if you say certain words, we got to hit the dump button.
So you're a publisher then, because you get held liable.
I don't
if
know,
someone
man.
cusses
You
on
can call
the
me
air.
whatever you want. I'm just not liable for it. But anyway, here's a Liberty update from LibertyCon. It's coming up fast. We're talking about 1 month from now, basically. It's April 3rd through the 5th in D.C. It's going to be a unique Liberty convention because they'll have more than 70 pro-liberty organizations in attendance. So you want to do some career advancement, some business or internship kind of opportunities, this is the place to do the networking that'll make that happen for you. Go to libertycon.com. You can use code FTL. Save $10 on the already shockingly affordable tickets. We're talking sub $100 ticket prices. If you're a student, it's like $50.
Nice.
For a 3-day long, now, okay, it's not really 3 days. The final day is like, hello, goodbye in the morning, and it's over. But there's still a lot of content at libertycon.com. They'll have John Mackey, the Whole Foods CEO. He'll be speaking on conscious capitalism, and there'll be debates, including Is Government Necessary? Featuring David Friedman, who will be taking the side that government is not necessary, and Timothy Sandifer, who will argue that it is. And then another debate called Does Capitalism Require Government Intervention? Featuring Gene Epstein, the economics editor for Barron's, saying that government should not intervene, and then Stephen Pearlstein from the Washington Post saying that it should. Go to libertycon.com and get your tickets now. Use code FTL, save $10. We'll see you there because Free Talk Live will be broadcasting from the event April 3rd through the 5th in D.C. at libertycon.com. Let's go to Rat Speed. He is on the line here on our Discord server. Go ahead, Rat Speed, calling from the internet.
Hello. Yes. So I've been listening to it. A lot of the things that you've already brought up were things that I was thinking about. I just want to real quick backtrack to what you guys were talking about originally, which was the whole PragerU. How come they didn't look at the platform versus publisher? And I think the one thing that was missing from that conversation is the Supreme Court didn't want to touch it at all because it was a private whatever. It wasn't run by the government, so they said that the First Amendment didn't apply, whether it be a platform or a publisher. So I think that was the one thing that was maybe being overlooked by the conversation. But then that made me start thinking. It's like, okay, well, what exactly? So the whole publisher versus platform thing, I think a lot of this comes back to the original confusion that the internet brings, because the technology itself allows a type of interactivity that had been missing from our culture from a lot of different quote-unquote platforms or publishers during the 20th century. In fact, before he died, Douglas Adams, on his blog, which they didn't have the word blog back then, but on his website, he published on his website a little article called "How to Stop Worrying and Learn to Love the Internet." A little play on Stanley Kubrick there. And so what he talked about is that during the 20th century, when all of this recorded medium became the way that people communicated on a widespread basis in one direction, in other words, you had one person talking, and then you had everyone listening and consuming that information, whether that be through records, radio, television. When the internet started changing that, it brought back an interactivity that people lost in their communication methods and their abilities. And so Douglas Adams was noting that all of these, marketing people were coming up with these really snazzy sounding technological names, many-to-many communications, peer-to-peer, blah, 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 blah. And then he finalized that article with a statement. He goes, all of these are terms for things that before we lost them, we didn't realize that we needed terms for them. In other words, what he was saying is that was the natural mode of communication that humans had before all of this widespread broadcasting thing. So there's an interactivity element to the internet that he was mentioning that is so intuitive and so innate in human beings that that's just how we functioned beforehand. Now, of course, there's newspapers, which are publishers, right? You have a company that gets together and formulates a bunch of words on a piece of paper, and then they publish it, or maybe it's a broadsheet, or who knows. But there was I guess the most interactivity that you could use for that would be to either submit letters to the editor, or if it was a broadsheet that was, posted onto, someone's like the public square, maybe you could.
Well, before you go on, let's just talk about that for a moment. Before internet existed, the letters to the editor was the third-party content in that publisher. So
also curated by the publisher.
But it doesn't matter. It's curated, but they're not liable for it. If somebody gets on the letter to the editor, sends a letter to the editor in, they've got their name on it, right? That's one of the requirements. If you send a letter to the editor, it can't be anonymous. You have to send it under your name, an address or whatever. So they post your name when you send your letter to the editor in. They post that up there. And if you say that so-and-so is a murderer or whatever in that letter to the editor, and that's not true, you libeled somebody about that, that doesn't mean the newspaper is liable for that content, even before the Communications Decency Act. So the Communications Decency Act just sort of took that same concept and said, okay, well, this should apply online as well, meaning that you should not be responsible, as whether it's be a publisher or a platform or whatever, for what your users say on that platform. Rat Speed?
So, okay, so I think, and there was a few thoughts that went through my head when you were saying that. I think there's a certain balance that we're talking about as well. Like that there's like, if I were to call you up and start cussing and swearing on the radio, you'd be able to censor me and you'd be able to dump me.
So you'd be legally obligated to dump you at that point.
Yeah, I would have to protect my stations from FCC violence.
Because you are a publisher of information and you have that control. I always think about that. Like whenever people call up radio shows, and usually they, not you guys, but other.
But we're also a platform. We're both a publisher and a platform, because we have a place where you can come and say a thing.
So this show is also streamed to the internet, but as far as the radio side of it, the section doesn't apply.
Well, none of
what I
that
was going to
applies.
say is that what I was going to say is I think it kind of also falls upon the nature of the website itself. For instance, if it all depends on how much of a hands-off philosophy that not just philosophy, but just like a rule set. If I make a website, technically I could make any kind of rule set that I want to outside of any sort of legality aspect of it. I mean, technically
Correct,
that still
because it's your
exists if
private
I were
property.
right. So I am always, no matter if I allow other people to publish their own third-party contents, every site as a platform if you allow third-party content to be. So yeah, I agree, Ian, with what you were saying earlier, is that it's both, and I think that's the thing that's missing from this. That's why I was bringing up the interactivity side of the argument. I think that all of these lawmakers, because they don't use computers, they don't, or at least they don't know how to use them very well. They're clunky arguments against something that they don't understand, and the nuances are being completely left out of the discussion, which is a website is all of the above, and it's really comes down to the determination of what the owner wants to have on it. So I think all of these laws, whether you call it a computer service, a publisher, or blah 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 blah, it doesn't matter. What really matters above it all, the whole overarching thing, is who controls the bandwidth. Believe it or not, I really think that's what it comes down to. All of this comes down to, if I have the ability to run my own YouTube and somehow figure out a way to network with other YouTubers or other video creators, say like a Mastodon type of network where it's it's a node in the network, or like how IRC is, you're a node on an IRC network. All of a sudden, the discussion of net neutrality, that's out of the window, because if bandwidth is superfluous, you don't have to worry about how much bandwidth you're spending. This all comes down to the amount of bandwidth that they control over us, and that's like the lifeblood of the internet.
Ratspeed, thanks for weighing in here. I appreciate your patience too, because I totally spaced your call. So Ratspeed there in our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. You can join us as well, 855-450 free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live Sunday show.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joel Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy. There's no reason why you shouldn't live to be at least 100 and have a great time getting there. And I'm going to give you a free copy of my lecture that tells you exactly how to do it. In fact, after you've lived a long and healthy life, there should be only 2 documents in your medical chart, a birth certificate and a death certificate. I'm Dr. Wallach with a warning. If you have a 4-inch medical chart, if you take prescription drugs for high cholesterol, high blood pressure, arthritis, joint pains, and other health issues, the medical profession is failing you. They're using you for an ATM machine. My free lecture is going to reveal what pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. There's been groundbreaking research and discoveries on how to effectively treat or eliminate over 900 different diseases naturally, and it's all in my free lecture called Deadly Recipe. So call toll-free 1-855-79-YOUNG. Again, that's toll-free 1-855-79-YOUNG. 1-855-79-YOUNG.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up what you want. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms at discord.lrn.fm. Plus, joining you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Melanie.
And the next generation of wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, store, earn, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat currencies like the dollar in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org. That's divvyproject.org. We're going to go to your phone calls and thoughts. You can bring up whatever you want here. Let's start with Cedar Savage on the line in Thunder Bay, Michigan, listening to WZTK on FM. Hello, Cedar.
Hi, it's nice to talk to you boys.
There's a lady here, too.
I've been known as Pat, so I will not try to construe my past identification.
Okay.
I'm calling in about this coronavirus. What they claim came from snake pits in Wuhan, China, or whatever it was.
All right. What do you think about it?
This is a weaponized thing, and I think the first country that comes out with an antidote will probably be the guilty party. But
I thought they already had an antidote.
That's just a synopsis. You know, I understand what I'm saying. But,
yeah, no, I see what you're saying. So do you think that this was the Chinese government who released this on their own people?
I do not know, but there was smoke plumes that can only be caused by the burning of bodies. I think it was sulfur, and they were spotted from satellites. So they were burning massive amounts
in China
bodies. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And
I don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard.
Here's the scary
Could
thing.
be a cover to get rid of the protesters.
There's a military Olympics, which none of us have been apprised of. And they went and did the triathlon thing. And so all these high-class Olympians from the military from all these countries swam in this lake in which these weaponized catfish, I believe it was, because they got a slime on them, you know how they are.
I'll take your word for
it. The virus was released in the water from the catfish, and all these dudes swam in it.
I thought you just said it was snakes.
Snakes,
The
catfish.
second general in charge
both
of
slimy.
Iran is already dead because of this infestation.
Of catfish.
Wait, I thought they
have
murdered the
no way
Iranian
of-
general.
They have no way of controlling this virus. They have no way of knowing where all these Olympians, the triathlon Olympians from all these different military, this is not. I'm not being like crazy.
Well,
This stuff
it's crazy's
this
in the
stuff
eye of the
is going
beholder.
to spread. No, I'm going to try to give you boys some
There's a lady
serious
here, too.
information on how to eliminate getting infected. You need boron and selenium. Selenium is the major factor.
Cedar Savage is not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Go ahead.
Is that one of the prime ingredients in Head and Shoulders? That you can take down aliens?
Yeah, okay, I'm going to wash your head and make you feel better. Dude, you're crazier than I am.
I thought that was part of the plot to the movie Evolution.
I am a little lost here, Cedar Savage. Are you giving us a cure for the coronavirus? What's happening here?
Yes, I'm telling you that the base product you need is unavailable in most of the food you eat is selenium.
Okay.
The other one is boron.
What do you do with it?
It only comes from the southwest asteroid strikes and such.
Do you put it in your body, or do you rub it on your skin? How do you deal? What do you do with this stuff?
You take it in a pill.
A pill. Okay. Yeah, I thought I seen that in one of those multivitamins.
And what you need to do, because right now it's coming down in a crisis, you need to triple up for about a week. All right, overload your system with boron and selenium, especially selenium.
Cedar Savage is
and
not a
then
doctor.
go
This is
back
not
to a
medical
normal
advice.
There you
dose.
go. The active ingredient in Head and Shoulders are the antifungal agents selenium disulfide and pyroxytolamine.
So just guzzle a little bit of that every day, and
So
you'll
if
be
you
good
need
to go.
if you need some selenium, get it from Head and Shoulders.
Oh my
I tell
God!
you what, buddy, if you want to suck on Head and Shoulders, you go ahead.
I don't know if that's a
I'd
good
rather have
idea.
A little bit of dust.
I don't think that's what you're actually advocating, right, Cedar Savage? Where would you recommend getting these products?
No, I'm not telling anybody to suck on a bottle of Head and Shoulders. On the other hand, if they did wash their hair with it, they might get some benefit.
Thanks.
You won't get the
just a
coronavirus,
logical
that's for darn
conclusion,
sure.
right?
Not through your scalp, at least. Hey, thanks for the call, Cedar Savage. Wow. Okay. Apparently, you can actually order droplets of the selenium stuff if that's what you're into. What it is, what it does.
How'd they get it off the asteroid?
I don't know. Maybe they sent Bruce Willis up there. I heard he does that kind of work.
Bunch of oil drillers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to be clear, this is not a health show. We are not doctors. And Cedar Savage, I suspect, is also not a doctor. So do what you will with that advice, but don't hold us responsible for it. We go on with Seth in Mississippi. You're on Free Talk Live. He's watching on YouTube. Hello, Seth.
How are y'all doing tonight?
Hey, good. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I want to add something about the coronavirus.
Yeah.
That coronavirus is caused by 6 million Jews.
Oh, yeah? How's that?
Because it's run by Jews, and it's also run by niggers. And
Can't say that on the radio. You're gone.
See, I mean, you would be able to talk for so much longer if you would not legally obligate us to
doesn't have
dump your
anything to
call.
say. These people called last night, again, these, I don't know, anti-Jew, anti-everybody but white people. I don't know if they're the Bull Patrol or the Cantwell, brigade or whoever the hell they are.
He has a brigade now?
I don't know. I don't think he has enough friends left to be to have a brigade, honestly. But they don't have anything to say. We try asking them questions, and they just keep repeating the same stupid things over and over again.
Should they be censored and deplatformed?
Yeah, I think so.
They should be.
Not censored. I mean, the government is censorship. But yeah, if you've got a private platform, I don't think you have any obligation to allow these people on it. They can build their own websites.
Well, do you think they should though? Because I
would kick them off of my. I kicked them off of my show right there. I mean, I
Right,
tried
but
to ask him questions.
on the show. You can only have one person on at a time. If you owned a social media platform, you can have multiple people on, and they're not really competing for time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Not
but
in that
there's
sense.
resources, computing resources that they're using. I don't want them using my resources.
I've always been. I mean, hey, if you own a website, you should be able to do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
But I've
I
always
kicked Cantwell off this show.
I've always been in favor of giving, if there is a platform to be had that's quasi non-scarce, let everybody talk, and then
Well, I let everybody talk on this show because I have the ability to respond here. But on these platforms you're talking about, they can like create their own little areas where they can go and, put whatever hateful nonsense that they want to. And you don't really have the ability to respond, especially if they are able to administer their own little group or whatever. Then they just have this little den of hate.
They get to show themselves as an idiot if they...
Yeah, but I don't need that on my platform, right? Like, I've got a limited number of computer RAM. I've got a limited number of bytes on my hard drive or gigabytes or whatever on my, my computer has a limited amount of space to it.
I guess I look at free speech as a good idea, but not a requirement of the NAP.
The NAP is the non-aggression principle. And no, and I like freedom of speech, but I also like the freedom to control property. And maybe I don't want that speech on my property. In the same way that if I was running if I had a bar, that I was operating, and a bunch of racists started coming into the bar and started to cause issues like letting it be known to people that they don't like black people or whatever, and that was making it so that people didn't want to come into my bar anymore, that would be a huge problem. So if I found out there were racists in my bar and they weren't keeping it to them damn selves, then I would kick them out.
So do you think that den of hate that they congregate in radicalizes them further because they only hear their own same message?
I think it does.
Absolutely.
So then in order to dissipate that hatred from them, wouldn't it be better to have open platforms where they are able to get their message out and be responded to?
Well, no, the platform she was talking about would have been Facebook, where you can create your own little group and then you can administer it to have your little den of hate and have only your people in that one area.
Well,
that's not open.
Any website any website that has public input or public ability to speak.
Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. Coming up, we got to talk about this Garth Brooks thing, Trump divorce. That's all on the way. I don't know what's going on with Garth Brooks. Apparently, he's getting behind Bernie Sanders, or at least that's what some people thought. We'll get into it. Richie's got the story on the way next.
He's like that.
In hour number 3, 855-450-FREE like Freedom. Live Sunday edition continues.
Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,586, silver at $16.68, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,669. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, a peace deal between the United States and its once sworn enemy, the Taliban, has been signed in twin ceremonies, in which the U.S. has agreed to wind down the war in Afghanistan after more than 18 years of fighting that turned into the longest conflict in American history, and to withdraw all of its troops from Afghanistan. The Free Thought Project reports that in the historic signing ceremony with the top U.S. diplomat and the Taliban's second highest ranking leader, the U.S. and the militant group agreed to begin to end America's longest war. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met a Taliban delegation during a historic moment, which they shared a stage in Qatar's capital Doha. Pompeo, who called it a momentous day, gave a list of pointers to the Taliban to follow to ensure success. The deal, signed by U.S. Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad and Taliban political chief Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar, agrees to the complete withdrawal of U.S. and NATO troops within 14 months, contingent on the Taliban following through with its own side of the deal. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. A mother is taking her fight to the Minnesota State Capitol so that her son with epilepsy can use CBD oil in case he has a seizure. The Mind Unleashed reports the worried mother expressed that her son has tried 3 different epilepsy medications, resulting in life-threatening reactions. However, the 2 things that safely and reliably work for him are medical marijuana and CBD oil. CBD oil is derived from the hemp plant, and it is similar to compounds that our bodies produce naturally called endocannabinoids. Cannabinoids aren't only found in the cannabis plant, they're also naturally occurring in other plants, but are found at a higher potency in cannabis. CBD oil offers the healing power of marijuana without the psychoactive effect of the chemical compound THC. CBD has shown promise as a treatment for conditions like epilepsy and anxiety in early research. If your job is working at a restaurant flipping burgers, you may soon find yourself replaced by a robot that works for $3 an hour. The Mind Unleashed reports the new robot is named Flippy and was developed by Miso Robotics, costing less to employ than a minimum wage worker. Currently, Miso Robotics charges an upfront fee of between $20,000 to $30,000 to install Flippy into restaurants. According to Digital Trends, Flippy is a burger flipping robot arm that's equipped with both thermal and regular vision, which grills burgers to order while also advising human collaborators in the kitchen when they need to add cheese or prep buns for serving. When Miso Robotics set out to create their first units, off-the-shelf robotic arms sold for upwards of $100,000. Today they're going for about $10,000 and are only getting cheaper. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Millions of Americans are irrationally feared dead following a train derailment near Wilmington, Delaware.
Less than 200 people were aboard the train, but because no names have been released yet, countless more are being imagined trapped inside the wreckage by worried parents and overly anxious friends.
And the list of imagined victims is growing by the minute. From brothers-in-law who live in Delaware, who usually drive but could possibly have been on that train, to friends who went to Delaware on a business trip and may have been next to the tracks for some reason when the train derailed.
And sadly, we're getting reports that that even those who have never been to Delaware are now also among those irrationally thought killed.
Oh, and we are just now getting word from Homeland Security that they're now warning people their fears may spiral into a wholly new fear that their loved ones never existed at all and are just byproducts of a drug-induced lucid dream in which their consciousness is currently imprisoned.
Such a shame, since this is reality.
There is nothing beyond this. To believe otherwise would be folly.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want. Right here, the toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're at discord.lrn.fm. Coming up, Garth Brooks apparently stirred up some controversy, maybe inadvertently. I don't know anything about this story, but Richie, you're going to tell it to us here in moments.
You're in for a treat.
Regarding Bernie Sanders. It's Ian, Richie, and Melanie here in the studio on our live Sunday edition of the show. According to Reason.com, CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference, apparently had some folks that were taking the position that the government should get involved in social media. The anti-tech fervor took center stage Friday morning with Senator Josh Hawley from Missouri and Representative Kevin McCarthy from California and Donald Trump Jr., each of whom presented their case against social media with claims of censorship and bias against conservatives. Trump Jr. claimed, quote, "With our base across the country, it's probably a top 3 issue. It's not free market because they're getting so many benefits and protections from the federal government that they cannot discriminate so flagrantly the way they have against conservatives." Hawley agreed, saying, quote, "We've got to make sure that we get the fair treatment that everyone else does," noting that Facebook, Twitter, and Google should not be getting, quote, "special deals from government," unquote. There was a reference to Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which lets companies remove user-generated content without being held liable for the millions of daily third-party posts on their platforms. Anti-230 activists often claim that dead tree publishers are legally responsible for the posts they put out, so Section 230 draws an unfair distinction between publishers and platforms, but that dichotomy is entirely false, as we discussed earlier tonight, and remains one of the biggest misconceptions about the law. Section 230 does not delineate between publishers and platforms, according to Reason, and also the Electronic Frontier Foundation. It applies to anyone who runs a site with user-generated content. But it wasn't the only anti-tech blast at the conference. A Thursday panel on social media began with remarks from Carpe Donktum, which is faux Latin for seize the donkey, a Twitter personality whose main claim to fame is his pro-Trump memes. He lamented an unfair online culture, which he said was epitomized by Reddit quarantining its major Donald Trump thread. The company did so after finding violent threats against public officials. Quote, "Without social media and without all of you and myself and other people on the stage being able to speak out and point out the lies of the media and the Democrat Party, it will be very hard for us to win 2020. You know, these people sound just like the very same whiny lefties, these safe space wanting lefties. Here you got the conservatives saying they want safe spaces on their social media so they can be left alone to say what they want. It sounds like the same kind of crying that you hear from people on the left. Carpe Donktum's Twitter account boasts more than 234,000 followers, where he still posts to lament censorship. Two panelists expressed similar sentiments. Dan Gaynor, the Media Research Center, said, quote, "If we don't fix this problem, conservatives will cease to exist online." You believe that one?
Well, they'll cease to exist in the mainstream discourse online because that's where they're having trouble keeping inroads.
John Schwepp, Director of Government Affairs of the American Principles Project, worried that, quote, "a few incredibly large multinational corporations would claim the ability to declare that it is hate speech to say that there are two genders," unquote. It's not unreasonable to be perturbed when Facebook, Twitter, and other platforms maintain their content evaluation processes are devoid of any personal influence. No human reviewer is completely unbiased, nor any algorithm perfectly tuned. But how Schwepp and Gaynor would solve the problem oscillated between impossible policy prescriptions and pure mystery. Schwepp said, quote, "The First Amendment's very basic. It's very easy to understand. And we understand that free speech is centered by private actors who, by the way, don't have the consent of the governed, and that's a real problem," unquote. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
He just Googled words he didn't know what they meant and put them into a
threw them
sentence.
together. The First Amendment should be easy to understand, says Reason, but it's not entirely clear that Schwepp understands it. Its prohibitions apply solely to the government, not to private companies, a drum that conservatives used to beat very loudly until it no longer suited their ideological interests.
Most statists understand that.
The courts have upheld that legal standard repeatedly, with the most recent ruling arriving in response to the YouTube case regarding Prager University, which we discussed earlier tonight. According to the story here, Thursday's panel did include two voices from the other side of the debate. Ashken Kazarian of Tech Freedom said, quote, "I can't believe I'm doing this because I'm here to convince you at a conservative conference that government shouldn't regulate speech." Chris Butler of the Americans for Tax Reform posed the question, what will conservatives say when a liberal president is in office and the government enjoys such powers? And that's the point I was trying to make earlier about these people calling themselves, supposedly in favor of small government. That's what the whole conservative line is, right? We're in favor of small government, we're conservatives. But then they get up, and some of them are calling for government intervention into online platforms and such.
Yes, and that part shouldn't be surprising, because when it doesn't suit them, like, what tool do they have in their toolbox, right, to get what they want? This is a political committee, or what was it?
CPAC. It's a conference.
Okay, this is a political conference, right? And they're like, well, what are we going to do about these private companies? And they, what does the politicians or the politicos reach into? They reach into the power of the state, the power of the government, to enact legislation to benefit them and punish their enemies.
Yeah, and it's just proof that these people have no shred of principle, no shred of appreciation for, the marketplace and competition. They want to use the power of the state to put their viewpoint in the public spotlight, and it's going to be turned against them if they get their way. It is inevitably going to be turned against them.
They should remember this, because even within my lifetime of being old enough to remember what was going on, it wasn't, and I don't know what happened before that, but because I haven't looked into it, but it wasn't the leftists that started this, as far as I can tell, because the conservatives were doing it first. They were trying to censor, you can't say this. This is indecent. This is inappropriate. We're going to make it illegal to talk this way. And they were completely happy to do that.
Right, protect the family values.
Yeah, and then the leftists started doing it, and then it was the worst thing in the world. And
right. It's all the same stuff.
Maybe it's bad, but if it's bad, then it's bad. And if it's not, then it's like, you can't have it both ways. And that's what they're trying to do.
It wasn't entirely clear, says Reason, how the panel's anti-tech advocates would like to alter the First Amendment standard. Schwepp did mention the idea of removing Section 230's protections. We discussed 230 earlier tonight, which allows content providers, platforms, publishers that allow for third parties to post to not have legal liabilities. Changing that would destroy YouTube. It would destroy Facebook. It would destroy online blog comments. It would destroy all of the interactivity of websites. We wouldn't be allowed to have comments, basically. I mean, you would have to have total restrictions, total review of everything posted to a website, which would basically kill any level of interaction.
And again, to reiterate, that's kind of what happened with Craigslist and Backpage. Right?
Well, they got scared.
Yeah, they got.
Well, Backpage was prosecuted.
Right.
Craigslist got scared of potential prosecution, and that was coming in under the auspices of, well, you're promoting prostitution, which is illegal. But again, you've got people at this conference saying they want to get rid of Section 230.
Yeah.
That's their solution. Taking a page from Hawley's book, but such a move could very likely result in far more censorship, because without legal protections, as Reason points out here, companies like Facebook and Twitter would be incentivized to scrap questionable content at much higher rates for fear of landing in court. Alternatively, companies could give up on content removal efforts entirely. Republicans might change their minds about the merits of that idea once Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube are no longer allowed to remove pornography. The ideal world constructed by Schwepp, Gaynor, Trump Jr., and Hawley would still have content moderation. They just want it to be perfect, and it never will be. Let's go to your calls and thoughts here. We'll talk to Josh in Illinois, watching on YouTube. Go ahead, Josh.
Hi, how's everyone doing?
Huh?
How are you doing?
Good. We're on the radio. Go ahead with your thoughts.
I think I had the coronavirus. The Jews gave it to me.
Okay, pretty lame. We continue here. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
What's he doing hanging out with Jews?
I have hung out with Jews and have not caught any kind of virus.
Clearly he doesn't.
from it.
He clearly doesn't like the Jews.
Right. Well, maybe. Anyway, ridiculous. So you can bring up anything you want here. 855-450 free. That's 855-450-3733. It's just, I like a crank call if they're funny.
Yeah, just be intelligent about it. I mean, y'all could do better, right?
Be creative. You don't have to be even intelligent. Just, creative and entertaining. 855-450 free. You can bring up whatever you want. This is Free Talk Live.
Don't miss this year's LibertyCon with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO John Mackey, Congressman Justin Amash, and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith. Attend 2 spectacular debates. Is government necessary? And does capitalism require government intervention? Network with over 70 pro-liberty organizations. This and a whole lot more. April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. Visit LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on LibertyCon.com.
You can be the smartest person in the room on the topic of the Constitution if you watch this free webinar. Liberty First University is online training on the principles of liberty and the origin, proper application, and defense of our founding documents and the principles they contain. You will receive an education worthy of the highest institutions of learning, as if the founders were teaching it. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone? You forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection. You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You may join us here. Open phones, as always, allowing you to take control of the airwaves. You can also go to Bitcoin.com, get the basics about Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash. You can learn about that over at Bitcoin.com. They've also got a great news site at news.bitcoin.com for latest headlines in the world of cryptocurrency. All that's over at Bitcoin.com. Plus, you can buy or sell Bitcoin Cash on their newish website over at local.bitcoin.com.
That's got to be close to a year old.
Not quite.
Up,
June.
Right? June? Okay.
Yeah, so most of a year at this point. So Ian, Richie, and Melanie in the studio here. Of course, you can bring up anything that you want. Coming up, Garth Brooks in some hot water with some fans, I guess, regarding comments about Bernie Sanders. I know nothing about this. We're going to get into it. Richie's got that story. And you can bring up what you want. Let's go to the phones, to your calls and thoughts. We have Michael calling from Georgia. He's watching on YouTube. So far, our YouTube callers tonight have been 0 for 2. Can you do any better, Michael, or are we going to have to hit the dump machine on you two?
I can do better.
Okay, we're ready.
I can do anything better than you.
Question for three of y'all.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You, how long have you been doing this?
You, how long have I been doing this? Was that the question? This?
Yep, that's a question for you.
Okay, I've been doing this, meaning I presume this radio program, since November of 2002.
That's good. Okay, I got the question for the lady next.
Okay.
How much McDonald's have you been eating?
It's pretty rude.
I don't know. You should probably hack into my food app.
I went to McDonald's the other night. They had a great deal on Big Macs.
Your third question, Michael, really wasn't as funny as you think it was. I'm going to give you the third question, though. So your question for Richie?
Okay. And you, have you been eating McDonald's?
Yeah, see, he only had two.
Yes.
We really only had two questions.
Yeah, no, I did. Like, I downloaded the McDonald's app. They had like 2 Big Macs, 2 medium fries, and 20-piece nuggets for $15. Like dinner served.
You didn't have McDonald's tonight?
Not tonight.
Oh, okay.
The other night. I didn't say tonight.
That's true. He didn't ask about tonight. There you go. That was.
But within the last 3 nights, I've had.
I'm going to say it was better than the last 2 YouTube calls.
Okay.
It wasn't great.
Well, this one was legal.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't violate any standards.
It wasn't racist, so it was just rude. We go to Rick in South Carolina, also on YouTube. Here we go, Rick.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi. You're on the air. I don't know if that's a good thing. But...
Yeah, hey, can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, have you ever seen a nigger?
Nope. You're not going to say that on the radio.
This is the quality that you get from a CIA subsidiary.
You're saying this is a CIA group that's calling us tonight?
No, I'm making an obnoxious comment about YouTube being a CIA subsidiary.
I see. Thanks, government. All right, so
they should be deplatformed.
Let's change gears here and get to Garth Brooks. What is going on?
Okay, this is
country music superstar, pop country superstar Garth Brooks.
This story has it all, even though it's brief.
He's got friends in low places. That's the only song I know.
Oh, man, you're missing out.
No, you're not.
Country music star Garth Brooks, superstar, took heat from conservative fans after seemingly endorsing Bernie Sanders for president.
Uh-oh.
So I want to tease this a little bit, but I don't want to bury it too much. He was doing a concert in Detroit, and so he wore a jersey on the stage that said Sanders 20 on it. So he seemingly endorsed Bernie Sanders for president when he was actually just wearing a sports jersey of an NFL Hall of Famer with the same name.
Ah, so he was trying to be like a cool sports guy and didn't even realize that he was wearing Bernie Sanders.
He wasn't wearing Bernie Sanders. He was wearing Barry Sanders, the Hall of Fame running back for the Detroit Lions, on stage in Detroit to gain favor with the hometown crowd. And all they saw in the back of the jersey was Sanders 20, and the conservative crowd flipped out.
I thought sports ball people liked football.
Conservatives, you mean? Because sports ball people do like football.
I'm sorry. I thought country music people like sports ball.
You
I
would
said
think.
that sentence completely
you would
wrong.
Think. Some fans
and Sanders is a black man, by the way. Barry Sanders.
Yeah. Some fans were left with the mistaken impression that Brooks was openly backing the socialist Vermont senator in the middle of the Democratic primaries by sporting the jersey at a concert. Can't you just do what you get paid to do? Why? Why does it have to involve politics? One Instagram commenter
Oh yeah,
wrote.
let's see how many
I
country.
thought you were different.
Let's see in 2001 how many country songs about the military were downloaded. How much they don't want to talk about politics. Okay.
I want to bring Gene. Hold on, Gene the Christian
Okay.
Anarchist is on the line here. We got him. Gene, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey guys, I'm back home again. I had to go to Phoenix a couple of times. Long, boring story. I won't tell you about it.
How long were you on hold?
Oh, not very long.
Okay.
No.
Just wanted to note that.
But anyway, I got home and I got right into it right away with people about the science being settled. And I want to say something. I'm not a scientist, but I like science. I find it interesting. I learn what I can.
The science is
But I
never
will say-
settled.
That's right. Science is never settled.
Exactly. And that's the point I want to make. Anybody saying that the science is settled on any subject is just uninformed.
They don't
because-
understand science.
Yeah,
It's constantly
science is
challenged.
not settled. And certainly climate science is far from settled. In fact,
Right.
I would say they're all a bunch of idiots because I tell people what weather was like 60 years ago and they don't listen to me. They say, "Oh, what the hell do you know? You're just some old guy that don't know what he's talking about." Well, I know what the weather was like when I was a kid, and it was. I grew up in Minnesota. It was 100 degrees every summer in Minnesota, and we're talking about mercury now. We're not talking about this feels like garbage that they've been pushing everybody with today. That was real mercury.
You don't like the
100
real
degrees.
field temperature, Gene?
No, that's nonsense.
I'll decide
If
what
you
it
wanna-
feels like. Tell me what the temperature really is.
Yeah, the temperature is on the mercury. You get a mercury thermometer. It's science that goes back 250 years. It's been around. It's reliable. It's
So
always
mercury temperature
accurate.
is settled science, is what you're saying.
Well, I would say it's pretty darn close to it. I wouldn't say anything settled, even gravity, but it's pretty good consensus that we know what that is.
right.
Now, climate, however, is definitely not settled because the numbers, they do something called normalizing. So they take the actual mercury numbers that were recorded 50 years ago, and then they claim to normalize them. Well, what does that mean? Normalize means they're changing
They're
them.
manipulating.
Yeah, they don't like the numbers, so they're going to normalize them, which means, we think that one should have been colder, so
Mhm.
we're going to make that one actually colder. We think that one should have been warmer, so we're going to call that one, 2 degrees
So
warmer.
they're applying
And this-
the real field technology to the mercury temperature readout.
Right. And I've got, clips from old newspapers, even turn of the century, going back to like 1910, with people predicting how the planet was warming up clear back in 1910. It's the same old stuff rehashed, and they try to make people think that this is something new. It's really not. It's the same old garbage.
Gene, thanks for calling and sharing your thoughts, saving us from those YouTube callers. There's more of them on hold. Thanks for the call, Gene. 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can call in to bring up whatever's on your mind. Take control of the airwaves here on Free Talk Live. I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into their rally.
Welcome
with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait
now.
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, dial toll free, bring up what you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, it's Ian,
Richie Rich,
and Melanie.
And if you're 100% sure you're going to have a great retirement, then you don't need to do anything differently. But if you're not certain about it, you should check out Tom Young. He's the author and founder of the CFO Project, and he can show you how to be debt-free in 9 years or less, including your mortgage, without spending a single dollar more. With the current state of the federal debt at $23 trillion, the unfunded liabilities at $127 trillion, you really can't wait to take control of your money. So don't let your retirement savings be used to bail out the government. Instead of building a plan, Tom can show you how to create strategies now to save money without penalties and as little government involvement as possible. His new book, The Family Money Farm, the CFO Project, will show you how exactly to build wealth and eliminate debt at the same time. You can get your free copy now at cfo-project.com. Invest in yourself and your family today. Get your free copy of The Family Money Farm, the CFO Project, at cfo-project.com. We go back to your phone calls and thoughts. Coming up, we got maybe more on this. Was there more to this Sanders story about like people roasting?
The funniest part was the responses from social media that against it.
People who just didn't understand what was going on. So we can talk more about that. Your calls and thoughts welcome, though. Let's go to Rob. He's in Virginia, listening in Lynchburg to WLNI. Go ahead, Rob.
Hey, guys. I think it's funny. Just everything is political, man. You can't even have a football jersey on.
Yep, can't get away from it.
But clearly, social media is biased against conservative viewpoints, and to say that conservatives should just buck up and stick to their principles. It's a private company; let it run loose.
Yeah.
Well, the inverse is true too. Liberals should stick with their principles and say, You can't have a giant monopoly that dominates everything and has no
It's not
and
a
buys every
monopoly.
competitor that comes along.
Come on, it's not a monopoly. Which one's the monopoly?
Okay, I don't have a Facebook account and I'm an old man, so just ease up on me.
Hold on, you said it was a monopoly.
Okay. What is the competitor to Facebook? What is the competitor to YouTube?
Float app and DLive.
There's a ton of competitors to both of those platforms. So YouTube has Metacritic, Vimeo. Those are two right off the top of my head. There's, of course, the decentralized library, lbry.com.
I use BitChute.
BitChute, that's one of them. DTube, I think, is another one. So there's several bit-related, some decentralized, some centralized video streaming platforms. Contrary to Facebook, you've got actually there are decentralized competitors to Facebook. I forget there's one of them out there I forget what it's called. Of course, there's Mastodon as well, which is a competitor to Twitter.
I'm on Minds.com.
Okay, and when Progressives broke up Standard Oil, there were other oil companies. It was just that Standard Oil was vertically integrated and dominated the marketplace with a much smaller market share than Facebook or YouTube have. And they were buying up all their competitors. And yes, there were other gas stations somewhere in the world, but they were giant, huge monopolies that had too much market power. You can't say conservatives need to stick to their viewpoint, which was a legitimate point. Hey, it's a private company. But then at the same time, not say, well, then why aren't liberals trying to break them up because they're giant monopolies?
I mean, you already admitted that for those other gas stations, it's not a monopoly, right? They just have a large market share.
Yeah, Standard Oil shouldn't have been targeted. I mean, what the problem with a lot of these companies is they tie in with government, and then they use their government protections to eliminate competition from the marketplace to restrict. So, like with the cab companies trying to attack Uber or Lyft, for instance, in various different cities.
Well, there I'm completely on the same side of what you're saying.
So
free market.
If you're in favor of the free market, you should be in favor of not breaking up companies with government influence or government mandates or whatever.
I'm not saying that they should be broken up, but again, I'm an old man. I'm an old man, and I'm not a big social media user.
Okay,
but I follow conservatives on YouTube. People like Steven Crowder are just flat out censored. People, anybody
but
has
there's
a
other platforms for him to move on to, right?
Yep.
He can move his audience to a different platform.
Okay, all right, but that's not de facto
What do
true.
you want to happen?
De jure.
What do you want to happen?
Oh, well, I think that the way they used the Wagner Act in 1935 would be the way to go.
What is that?
They were trying to. The Wagner Act in 1935 basically unleashed the unions. That's when the Pinkertons they were having riots, and the government wanted to come in on the side of labor, but they didn't come in with regulations. They just said, okay, here's the Wagner Act, which gave unions a lot of power. I think that if you have something like YouTube, you are either a neutral platform or you're a publisher.
This is the same thing that my co-hosts were arguing earlier tonight.
Yeah.
So
well,
you think?
I apologize.
Are you saying, just to be clear, and I don't agree with them in that particular case, and we talked about how the Communications Decency Act doesn't discern between those things. Are you saying that because
and we were never advocating that?
Are you saying that because
YouTube? I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
She
and
said
I love
she
your
wasn't
show
advocating
because.
that. But look, I want to clarify
I love
from
your show
Rob.
because you always disagree. Go ahead.
Okay, but I want to know what you're saying here. You're saying that because YouTube allows people to post things, they should allow anyone to post anything they want as long as it's legal. Is that what you're saying?
Well, there's a law, and I apologize. Again, I'm an old man. I don't know I can't cite you the law, but there is a congressional law regulating those things so that Facebook is not responsible if Ted Kaczynski puts some crazy thing on Facebook.
Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act that disclaims liability for anyone who's running any kind of publisher or platform on the internet as long as they allow third-party content. But what are you saying you want to have happen? I'm still not clear.
Okay, I'm saying that should be eliminated. You should be able to that if you're going to be an editor, as YouTube is doing. I'm just going to use YouTube as an example. They don't like conservative viewpoints. They let people have free reign that are liberals and threaten people and encourage violence, and they just muzzle and demonetize conservatives for no reason. You can go on and on. There's a million examples of that. That's okay. If it's a private company, then they shouldn't be shielded from liability.
So what you're saying
If
is,
they're just a platform,
to be clear,
if you're a neutral I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay. You're saying that you don't think that you're saying that YouTube should be held liable for the content posted to YouTube. So you want to get rid of the protections for websites that moderate content.
In general, I'm for that act. I'm for them being shielded from liability as a platform. Anybody can say anything on here, and it's not your responsibility.
But as soon as they
as
soon as they decide they want to control who can access their platform, you're saying they should then be held liable for the content?
If you're an editor, you're a publication. Now
that's not what they're doing. Okay, they're allowing people to post to their site, and they have rules about what they want posted to their site. You're saying they shouldn't be able to have those rules, or if they have the rules, they should be held liable.
A lot of times it's not even rules; it's like standards.
Whatever it is,
okay.
I don't care what it is.
But you can get deplatformed or demonetized without breaking the rules.
You're making an argument which is somewhat reasonable, but it's not an accurate description of what's happening. They're just editing. They're doing viewpoint editing. There are not neutral rules like you can't yell.
Well, hold on. You said Steven Crowder was somehow being censored by these people, and from what I can tell here, by the way, I don't know who this guy is, but he's got 4.3 million subscribers. He still has a channel on YouTube, and according to the posts on his YouTube channel, he's had multiple videos posted in the last week, so he's still using this platform. Are you saying that he has been demonetized? Because he certainly hasn't been taken down.
Yes, I've said several times in this conversation he's been demonetized, and people are routinely demonetized.
So you're saying that the YouTube should have an obligation to, if they're going to allow people to post, to monetize all content equally and have no policies about what they want to monetize versus not?
That's not even up to YouTube, because if the advertisers don't want to pay for ads on specific kinds of videos, they're not going. YouTube can't make them do that. There's no way. It's not physically possible for YouTube to monetize equally.
Yeah, I think it's disturbing that you're saying.
Man, and I still know the point is invalid, even being old and not familiar with social media.
I don't understand why you keep bringing up how you're an old guy. I'm not sure why that's relevant to this conversation.
Right.
What it sounds to me like, and Rob, if you want to hang on, I'll bring you back here. We can continue this, because it sounds to me like you're saying if a company like YouTube makes a decision about how to run their website that they allow people to post to, that then all of a sudden they should be held liable for content. Well, then you might as well say goodbye to YouTube, because if they're held liable for content of their third-party users, then they're just going to stop allowing anyone to post. More coming up.
This is Fred.
Hi, I'm Fred.
Fred's a repeater.
I tend to repeat.
Fred has a business.
I do have a business.
And a problem. Fred repeats the same tired advertising over and over, and now it doesn't work.
Over and over.
But Fred is about to see a vision.
I'm seeing a vision.
Advertising on the Genesis Communications Network is the smart way for Fred to reach his potential customers with the most affordable national advertising rates, period. Get started today with GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. Just email advertise@gcnlive.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Are you afraid to go to the mailbox because of letter after letter from the IRS? Are they stacking on more and more penalties and interest? By now, you know the problem won't go away on its own. Don't let the IRS chase you to your grave with penalties and interest and liens and levies. You need real help now. I'm Dan Pilla. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I help thousands of people solve tax problems they thought couldn't be solved. I can help you too. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com. danpilla.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. Bring up whatever you want. Remaining moments are now, so now is a good time to call in if you want to get in tonight. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And over at liberty.menu, you, if you are an individual who rejects the initiation of force and agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, are invited to post the things that you do, third-party content, on liberty.menu, which means liberty.menu is not responsible for the things that you post to its platform that they're publishing on the internet. Liberty.menu allows you to post about your business, your event that you're coordinating, the digital content that you're the creator of, and you can rate and review other people's posts. There's a bit of a social networking aspect. So there's another example. He'd ask for other social networks, Liberty.menu for libertarians. Over there for people that care about liberty. Liberty.menu, you can use code FTL and get a special Free Talk Live listener badge. There with you tonight, it's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Melanie.
I want to bring Rob back on the line in Virginia. Rob, you are an older gentleman, as you have pointed out.
He's an old guy.
Many a times tonight.
Don't say it anymore.
But it's not really relevant because your opinions are just as valid as anyone else. Whether or not you know a whole lot about, social media or what competition is out there, you still can have an opinion, and I'm glad that you called in to express it tonight because I've really enjoyed your call a lot more.
One voice, one vote.
A lot more than these people calling from YouTube who have been basically throwaway calls. So thank you for being here, even though we don't necessarily agree. So I don't know if you got a chance to really get your thoughts out. It sounded like you were saying, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Rob, that you think that if a company, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, if they set some sort of policy that prefers one set of users over another, that they should then be held liable for the content of those users that they allow on their platform. Is that right?
Held liable is a bit strong. Just let me be clear. You either have a platform or a publication. If the historical analogs,
okay. Let me jump in real quick, and I want to ask you a question, Ian. Based on the definitions that I provided from the Medium article,
yeah,
they said that
written by we don't know who.
Whatever, doesn't matter. But if you accept the terms, right?
But it doesn't matter when it's under the auspices of internet.
Well, right, but he's telling you what he thinks should be. So even
I want to hear what Richie's saying.
So the example given was that the platform was like the phone company.
Uh-huh.
So do you then think that as a private company, the phone company should be able to listen in to all of your calls and determine what gets through to the
But it's a terrible analogy because it's not like the phone company. Okay, the phone company is a one-to-one connection method, right? In the same way that if you wanted to liken Facebook Messenger to the phone company or WhatsApp or something like that, okay, maybe you'd have a better analogy there. But with Facebook,
conference call then.
You've got a place where people post things and they stick there for other people to come along, possibly thousands or millions of them, to come along and see and also interact with. That in no way represents a phone company.
But the phone company is a private institution and should be allowed.
At one time, it was a monopoly, but they deregulated and then they allowed for competition in phone companies.
But they
also still regulated with how phone prefixes and things like that work. Like a lot of the rules about where if you have a landline, I know a lot of our younger listeners don't even know what that is, but the landline.
People know what a landline phone is.
You think? No. I bet you if you asked Zennials, they probably would have no idea. But anyway, if there's a phone line running in here,
they control
in the studio
copper.
right
They've
now.
Installed the copper.
And I just wanted to say about that, I cannot dial outside of the 603 area code on that phone line because of some arcane government rules that somebody cooked up a long time ago that say that, there's all these stupid rules about how you have to, if you're going to want to go outside of the area code, then you got to. Sorry, go ahead. What's that, Rob?
Well, yeah, what I was saying, let me give you a more accurate analogy. Okay, if you have a giant chalkboard at the town square for people to come and put comments, okay, that's a platform. It's not edited. Someone can write on there, everyone go to Ian's house. Here's the address and throw eggs at him.
Is it a privately owned platform? Is it a privately owned chalkboard?
Well, now see, now you have a good point there.
That's what the whole point is. Facebook is a private company, and what you have here is that they become so large that both people on the left and people on the right have now come along to a similar viewpoint, and that is that they want the government to get involved and have control over these things that these companies have created that they originally created. Way back, it was just a way for college people to connect with one another, but eventually it became a business, and the purpose of it is to make money and to sell advertising to people and to provide this place for people to create profiles that they can then sell advertising off of. That's the whole point.
I understand what it is, but I'm not advocating that the government come in and regulate social media.
Okay, thank goodness.
I'm advocating that the law they've already passed should be revoked. Okay, if you're going to edit.
Just so you understand what you're talking about, Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, you're talking about now getting rid of YouTube entirely. There goes your platform because they're going to take it offline. Because the whole point of YouTube is you were supposed to be able to upload your videos to this place and have them play to other people who wanted to see them. Because the reason they could offer that service was because they didn't have legal liability for you doing that. If all of a sudden you get to now force these companies into a position where they have legal liability for the people uploading content to their platform or publisher or whatever, then they're just going to be like, well, forget this. We're just going to not allow anyone to upload at all.
Or alternatively, with billions of dollars of revenue on the line, they might stop jumping in and editing it and make it.
They're not going to let you do it at all.
So right now, if you take away that law, if you take away the law as it stands, then they will be liable for everything that's uploaded.
They're shutting down.
They're not going to do that. They're going to close.
Right? No, they wouldn't. They could just stop editing. If
No.
You're misunderstanding this.
If you take away Section 230, YouTube is liable for everything on YouTube, and Facebook is liable for everything on Facebook.
They will
Section
close.
230 protects them from that.
They will close their operations, and you will have no more platform to upload any videos to. Mr. Steven Crowder, who you were concerned about earlier, his channel will be gone entirely, and so will all the liberal channels, and so will every other thing on YouTube. The entire site will be closed down if you do that. Comment sections will no longer exist.
These private entities cannot exist without that government regulation.
The private entities would exist if there were no government at all, right? Like if there was no government in the way at all, then this would not even be an issue. But because there is a government gang out there and they're scary and they've got prisons and they've got men with guns who will come and kill you if you don't do what they say, somebody in the government decided, all right, in order for people to be able to express themselves and us to stay out of this and this not to be a complete legal morass of lawsuits flying left and right, we're just going to disclaim liability from anybody who's got an online website for the things that people post to it. That's just sort of the way things ought to be.
It's a government regulation that counteracts another government regulation.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we should have the state at all. But as long as it's going to exist, somebody figured, well, we ought to just go ahead and put this there to make sure that there's not an S-ton of ridiculous lawsuits flying around that will kill all this internet stuff that's going on. So if you get rid of Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, say goodbye to YouTube, say goodbye to social media platforms, say goodbye to even comments sections. Okay, I got a website called freekeen.com. Some of the comments are ridiculous on that website, but I still let them happen because people like them. You know, the comment people like to fight with one another in there, and you know, fine. You don't have to read the comments; they're at the bottom of the article. You can ignore them if you want to, pretty safely. But some websites have shut down their comment sections entirely because they're just too nasty. You know, they don't want to have to.
So you've chosen to just have free speech absolutism and just allow it to just
because it's my private property. I can I can make those choices. However, if Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act is overturned,
and you're liable for those,
then if somebody gets on my comment section and tells a lie about somebody or posts something illegal or whatever, then all of a sudden I become legally liable for it, and that would make it very uncomfortable.
Who would
for
come
anyone
after you in that case? Like we're talking about like the legal liability, and they would shut down. But who would
the person who was libeled? If somebody libeled,
it would just be like normal free speech. You know, an individual could say, "Hey, I've been libeled."
Well, right now the individual has to go after the individual. So if Joe Blow posts to my blog on a comment section saying that Richie's a murderer, and Richie's like, well, I'm not a murderer, I'm going to sue Joe Blow, you would have to sue Joe Blow because he's the one who said it. Or if you were to get rid of the Communications Decency Act, then Richie could sue me for allowing Joe Blow to post on my comment section, even though I didn't even know the comment was there because I don't read all the damn comments. So that's what you're getting into.
If he were to have that published in the Washington Post, and the Washington Post went through an editing process and said, oh, we're going to allow this, we're not going to allow it, and they said, yes, we're going to publish this false content. Okay. Then the Washington Post would then open itself to liability.
They shouldn't be held liable for that because it wasn't their employee doing it. We're out of time. We'll see you tomorrow. freetalklive.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward Liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the Liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com. Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
If you you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,586, silver at $16.68, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,669. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, a peace deal between the United States and its once sworn enemy, the Taliban, has been signed in twin ceremonies, in which the U.S. has agreed to wind down the war in Afghanistan after more than 18 years of fighting that turned into the longest conflict in American history, and to withdraw all of its troops from Afghanistan. The Free Thought Project reports that in the historic signing ceremony with the top U.S. diplomat and the Taliban's second highest-ranking leader, the U.S. and the militant group agreed to begin to end America's longest war. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met a Taliban delegation during a historic moment, which they shared a stage in Qatar's capital Doha. Pompeo, who called it a momentous day, gave a list of pointers to the Taliban to follow to ensure success. The deal, signed by U.S. Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad and Taliban political chief Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar, agrees to the complete withdrawal of U.S. and NATO troops within 14 months, contingent on the Taliban following through with its own side of the deal. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. A mother is taking her fight to the Minnesota State Capitol so that her son with epilepsy can use CBD oil in case he has a seizure. The Mind Unleashed reports the worried mother expressed that her son has tried 3 different epilepsy medications, resulting in life-threatening reactions. However, the 2 things that safely and reliably work for him are medical marijuana and CBD oil. CBD oil is derived from the hemp plant, and it is similar to compounds that our bodies produce naturally called endocannabinoids. Cannabinoids aren't only found in the cannabis plant, they're also naturally occurring in other plants, but are found at a higher potency in cannabis. CBD oil offers the healing power of marijuana without the psychoactive effect of the chemical compound THC. CBD has shown promise as a treatment for conditions like epilepsy and anxiety in early research. If your job is working at a restaurant flipping burgers, you may soon find yourself replaced by a robot that works for $3 an hour. The Mind Unleashed reports the new robot is named Flippy and was developed by Miso Robotics, costing less to employ than a minimum wage worker.